What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 1 and Chapter 1. Naruto the Noumu. A pair of odd blue eyes with cross pupils scan every faces in a dimly area, and the owner merely tilted its head slightly before a raspy voice catch the owner's attention. What is it doing here? Tamura Shigaraki narrowed his eyes at the owner with disembodied hands all over his body and face. It doesn't follow my orders all the time, it's fucking useless. It's okay. Sensei believe it will benefit him to stretch his legs out, and with his quirks, it might aid us if anything goes wrong. Kurogiri reassured Tamura as he turned his head to a bulky black Noumu, and beside, two of them are better than one. Tisk, whatever. Tamura clicked his tongue angrily, that thing better not screw it up. He jammed his hands into his pockets as his eyes shift to his loyal second-in-commander. It's time, get us in. Kurogiri's body emerges in black fog, blanketing everything in sight. That is all. 13 bowed to the students after he gave them a long explanation about the USJ and his quirk. You have my gratitude for listening so intently and patiently. That was awesome. Ochako shouted with pumping arms, and several students applauding for the space hero. All right, first things first, Aizawa muttered dully, but he suddenly stopped talking as something catch his attention from the corner of his eyes, and he turned to see an odd black hole in the distance. The swirling hole slowly enlarged before a hand grabbed the edge of the hole, seems to stretch it open, and a twisted face greeted the gloomy teacher with a psychotic glint. With many years of experience as pro hero and guts, Aizawa shouted out to his students and fellow pro-hero as sea of villains pour out of the black fog. Huddle together and don't move. 13. Protect the students. What is that? Kirishima peeked over the rail confusingly. Is this like that training pattern at the entrance exam? Don't move. Aizawa pulled his goggles down with a bark. Those are villains. Eraserhead and 13. Kurogiri scanned their faces. According to the teacher's curriculum we procured yesterday, Mr. All Might was supposed to be here, and yet. I know it. Aizawa growled as he remembered the reporter incident. So yesterday was the doing of you louts. Where is he? Tamura whined angrily. We went through all this trouble and rustled up so many of us to bring along. You can't tell me All Might, the symbol of peace, isn't here. He turned his eyes to the students eerily. I wonder if he'll show up if we kill the kids? Villains. Someone cried out. Get out of here. What kind of numbskull could think honest to God villains would be able to just waltz into the hero home base? Sensei. Momo stared at the villains as they keep walking out of the black fog. What about the intruder alarm sensors? Of course we have some set up, but 13 frowned behind his helmet and he can hear a student make some deduces. 13. Do the evacuation procedure. Aizawa called out, and try calling the school. These villains know how to get around the sensors. There's a chance there's an electrowave type guy who'll try interfering. He turned his eyes to one of his students, Kaminari. You too? Try contracting UA with your quirk. Sensei. Izuku noticed that the gloomy teacher run toward the rail. Are you gonna fight them alone? Even if you suppress all of their quirks, there's so many of them. The battle style of Eraserhead is to catch villains after erasing their quirks. Meaning, the main battle start now. A hero always has more than one trick up their sleeves. Aizawa cut him off. 13. I'm counting on you. He leaped over the cliff toward the villains. The owner of Blue Eyes watched on as Eraserhead single-handedly took several villains out with his long bandages, and several villains were in panic when they found out that they can't use their quirks for some reason. His hand-to-hand combat skills, too, are commendade. Tamura rambled in front of the owner. Furthermore, we cannot be sure just whose quirks he's erased, since his line of sight is hidden by those goggles. That is why even a mass allied against him is tasting defeat. Now I see. He bit his fingernail annoyingly. God, pro-heroes are such a pain. If we were just any rabble, we wouldn't stand a chance. Kurogiri was about to reply, but he noticed 13 trying to flee with the students before he rapped in front of them. I'm afraid I can't allow that. The teleporter said, Greetings. We are the Villain Alliance. I apologize for the presumption, but we took it upon ourselves to enter UA Academy, the base of heroes, in order to engage with Mr. All Might, the symbol of peace. We were wondering if we might be allowed the opportunity to extinguish him. You see. He calmly glances at the shocked faces. Was Mr. All Might not meant to be in attendance at this juncture? Perchance, has something been altered? Ah well, he sighed. Setting that aside, the black fog emerged out. This is my role. Suddenly, Kirishima and Bakugo attack him with their quirks. Bet you didn't think we'd be able to do you in before you got a chance. Kirishima grinned and he ignored Kurogiri's sentence. It's no use, just run, 13 shouted. Run, you too. You will be scattered. Kurogiri blanketed the area in black fog, and tortured, and slain. Everyone. Someone cried out before Kurogiri scattered the students and villains in random locations. The Blue Eyes owner was taken to a certain zone. It only had been about 10 or more minutes and the owner just watched 3 students fight the villains until 2 of them covered themselves under a blanket that was created by a girl with long hair, and the solo male student knocked all the villains out with one giant lighting bolt. The owner wasn't affected by the bolt since he was out of the range. He merely tilts his head to his left and his feet step forward. Now then, Momo took the blanket off after she checked the situation. You've got a pretty big tear in your shirt. Jiro stared at Momo's large chest embarrassingly. How can a 15-year-old developing this much? Something catch her eyes and she look up to see a 15-year-old boy, crouching over the unconscious villain as he poked the twitching body with tilted head. The boy have a lanky but muscular body with blonde short spiky hair and he have a unique birthmarks, which look like 6 whispers on his cheeks. He only wear a black spandex pant that stop at his calves. Jiro have noticed many odd thin tattoo-like lines all over his body, outlining and detailing every muscle and joints, and it make him look like a robot or something like that. Damn it, another one? Momo spotted the blonde teenager with narrowed eyes and the boy suddenly turned his head to face them as if he just heard the creator from distance, revealing his dull blue eyes with odd cross pupils that seemed to cover the whole of his eyeballs and for some reason, it sent a chilling shiver down their spines, even Kaminari in his dirt personality. Jiro quickly shoot up on her feet with her sword and before she know it, the boy was at her side, following by a massive pain that coursed through her arm. She slowly looked down to see that the boy just hold her right forearm in a grip and it swell up so badly, signaling that the boy just broke her arm. She cried out in pain as she drops down on her knees, trying not to pass out from the agonizing pain as she clutching her broken arm. Jiro? Momo shout out before she hears laughter behind her and she looked back to see that helmet-wearing villain holding Kaminari hostage as the boy just giggling dumbly. Damn it. She frozen up, is that how it'll end for them? Good job, dude. The helmet-wearing villain chuckled evilly, now what will we do with TH? All of a sudden, the blonde boy buried his fist in the helmet-wearing villain's stomach with a sickening crack as the villain bent in half with widened eyes before he launched across the field, releasing the lighting-wielding student in process, and the villain skip across until he stopped few yards away, unmoving but still breathing. What the hell in world? Momo stared at the blonde boy with Jiro as the boy steadying his fist with corking head as if he have never seen it before, isn't he one of them? He's fucking psycho. Jiro grunted painfully and she stiffened up as the boy looked at them again before something hit their heads, creating bad headaches. Why are humans so fragile? WWA. The creator held her head with a wince. Was that a quirk? Jiro shot daggers at the boy. Hey, you? Is that you're doing? The boy stared at her for a while before he opened his mouth with a pop as if he haven't used it for a long time, yes. His voice sounded more robotically than their class president but it was so emotionless, that is my doing. Answer me that. Why are humans so fragile? He cast his eyes upon the unconscious villains before his eyes shift to his opening palms. They pass out after one hit from the lighting user and when I touch this one's arm. He pointed at Jiro. This one also screams out loudly than these humans. Are humans this fragile? T-touch. Jiro spat out. Why you crazy bastard, you fucking broke my arm then you act like it's something new, and don't call me, this one, I have a name. Jiro, calm down. Momo warned her teammate, she don't want her to escalating her pain. I am fucking calm. The ear-jacking girl hissed angrily, this psycho act like he's not a human. Jiro, is that your name? The boy suddenly appears in front of their faces, startling them in process and everything happened in a blur. Momo tried to create a weapon out of her body but the boy jammed his hand into the ground before he tear it out, fling the earth up like a pebble and it knocked Momo back few foot away from them. Jiro, why are humans so fragile? He asked again, his eyes stare eerily at the shocked girl. The fuck should I tell you that? Jiro held her injured arm to her chest with a shiver. Why you broke my arm then you keep demanding me for a stupid question after that? Are you fucking insane? The boy just stared at her for a while before he glanced at her broken arm and he looked back to her. Are you refusing to answer me because I broke it? The boy asked as she kept glaring at him, trying to be brave in front of creepy insane person and he grabs her broken arm again. Jiro. Momo raced toward them as another sickening crack can be heard out again and Jiro jerked her arm away from the boy with tightened eyes, bracing herself for any pain but nothing come. Jiro's eyes snapped widened and she looked down at her injured arm. No, it's not broken anymore. There was no swelling, no dislocating bone, nothing but perfect healthy arm. What the? Momo whispered in shock as Jiro touched her healthily arm with widened eyes before she jerked her head up to the boy, who was still staring at her unmoving. Multiply quirks. Whoever this guy is. All she knows is that guy is very dangerous. Will you tell me why humans are so fragile now? The boy asked again like a broken record. What the hell are you? Jiro muttered absent-mindedly as she scooted away from him. They call us Noumu. The boy said, he named me Naruto. Why are humans so fragile? He leaned closer, give me answer now. Tell me why, I need answer. He took few steps forward and his hand reaches out toward ominously. Why are humans so fragile? Not everyone are fragile. Momo stepped back with Jiro as she shielded the dumb lighting user. This guy keeps skipping around giggling like a dirt person because of this damn quirk. It's true that there are some people weaker than us but there are people stronger and we're not fragile. She doesn't know why she answered his question in this situation. I do not understand. Naruto halted in his track with tilted head as he stares at them blankly. Humans are fragile but they are not. His hand dropped down. Why? Just because. Jiro snarled. What the hell is wrong with this guy? There are things that we don't understand but that are just how it is. After all, you and I are human. We're all humans, you psycho. Me, human? Naruto turned his eyes to her. That is incorrect. I am Noumu. I am. The exploding sound cut him off and he turned to the source to see a muscular figure step through the front gate in the distance. Have no fear, for I have come. All Might announced with angry expression. All Might. Momo smiled at the announcement. The symbol of peace's voice can be heard all over the USJ. He's here. Jiro grinned widely before she turns to Naruto with a smirk. Now you're so done. Naruto stared at the top hero as he swiftly took the rest of villains out before the hero pulled the rest of students away from the bulky Noumu. Who is he? The girls can't help but to trip over at his question. How can you not know who he is? Jiro shouted at him with pointing finger. Do you live somewhere under rock or what? He is All Might, the symbol of peace and #1 hero in the world. He is All Might? The blonde replied as the muscular hero attacked the bulky Noumu. So that is the one he won't die? His body tensed up intensely. Huh, Momo barely registered the last sentence as the blonde sprint off down the mountain zone at astounding speed. Damn it. Don't worry, All Might can take him out easily. Jiro glanced at the direction. That guy, for a villain, he was so weird but scary. Way. Kaminari jabbed his thumb ups at them with a stupid giggle. Way. Crap, why did he run off? Toru wandered through the woods. If anyone were around, they would just see a pair of floating gloves moving around as if she was in panic. But I really don't know Shoto was this strong. Wait until I tell, huh? Toru spotted a figure in the distance as it run toward her and she squirted her unseen eyes. Who is it? Ah! She cried out in panic as soon as she realized it was not a student and this person was getting closer so faster that they might collide with each other, which might hurt or kill her from this high speed. Shit. The floating gloves waved around but her worries were for nothing as the figure suddenly jumps around her. Toru glanced at the figure to get a good look before she gasped out at the sight of a blonde and he stared at her with his unique eyes. It only lasted for a few seconds before this mysterious boy vanished from her sight as he kept running and the gloves dropped down to the ground. Hey, can he see me? She shook her invisible head. Nah, that's not possible. A hero is someone who smashes though every obstacle life puts in his way. All Might pummeled his fists into the bulky Noumu as the students watch on in amazement. Do you know what I speak of, villains? He pulled his right arm back before he smashed it against the giant Noumu. Plus Ultra. He launched the giant creature out of the USJ with a powerful uppercut. What is that? A comic book? Kirishima muttered in shock, missing All Might's comment about getting a little weaker. Now shall we put the end to our dance? All Might lunged toward Tamura and Kurogiri. You used cheat. Tamura shouted out angrily and All Might was about to catch them but something appeared in his sight. The muscular hero quickly bring his forearms up in guard as a leg smashed into them and a figure flipped backward on his feet. All Might bring his arms down and he see Naruto for the first time. Naruto, why do you keep wandering off? Because of you, we lost the game. So young, he has to be 15 like the students. All Might frowned at the sight, and he looks so lifeless. He feel a familiar feeling as the vapor form around him. Oh no, I'm gonna snap back to my truth form. I got a bluff. Well, look like there's another one I have to take care. How about you three come at me? What can we do? Why do we fail to clear the final boss? Tamura whined. Tamura, calm down. Kurogiri appeared behind the leader. The black Noumu have weakened him to a certain degree and now Naruto is here with us. We can break the symbol of peace. Yes, Tamura muttered as he glanced at Naruto, Kurogiri, let's kill him. With that, they all charged toward All Might but Izuku suddenly leaped at them with his fist up in air. Let go of All Might. Izuku roared and Naruto suddenly appeared in front of him, thrusting his opening hand at his face ominously but it never landed because the blonde changed his course in midair as he tackled Tamura down before the sound of gunshot rang out. So they finally arrived. All Might glanced over his shoulders to see the group of teachers/pro heroes with a student. Reporting for duty, Iida called out among the teachers. They came. It's our game over screen. Tamura roared angrily. Game over. He was about to whine more but the bullets rained down on them, courtesy of the gunslinger hero, and Kurogiri can feel the pull of the black hole, courtesy of injured space hero. We have to get out of here. Kurogiri wrapped Tamura away before he called out to Naruto as he charged toward All Might. Leave him. We have to go back. Naruto halted in his track as he looked between All Might and Kurogiri. Target primary. Naruto turned back to All Might and he was about to take another step. Naruto, come. Kurogiri barked. Obey or be aborted. The boy froze up as the outline of dozen small sections form on his face before they slowly peel off, starting with his left eyeball, and the interior of his face were revealed to the world. Wah! Izuku cried out in shock as his sensei stared at Naruto's skull with widened eyes and his hands fly up to his mouth, holding his bile back. Naruto stand there for a few moments before he stepped back and his face returned back to original, vanish as if his face weren't falling apart a few seconds ago. Yes, I will come. Naruto walked back to Kurogiri and he vanishes into the black fog along with the teleporter. So they might force him to do that. I can't forgive them for that. All Might clenched his fist tighter before he overhears Izuku's comment about being useless and he speaks up to encourage his secret apprentice. In a seedy bar, Naruto stared at the wall blankly as he ignored the discussion between Tamura and the figure on monitor screen before the voice called out to him few moments after the discussion ended. Naruto, how was your first field trip? The voice spoke with a deep raspy tone. It must be very experiencing for you. It was a curious day. Naruto merely tilted his head. Oh, why is that? The voice asked. I do not know. The blonde boy answered. I learned that a single answer breeds more questions when you receive it. The voice was about to speak up but the boy cut it off. Creator, am I a human? No, you are a Noumu. The voice answered, a living weapon. That is correct. Naruto simply nodded, I am a Noumu, not a human. Why do you ask me when you know the answer? The creator frowned with a hum but the unique Noumu turned back to the wall without a word and the creator hum again. This Noumu was unique because it is capable of speech, like the other one, but this creature don't follow the orders mostly of time. The creator decides to keep it around out of curiosity and there are those interesting quirks, it's a pity that he can't steal it for some reason. Maybe it's because he create Naruto from A. He wave it off since it's not this important. Very well, I'll check in later. The monitor turns off. I would like to go out again. The boy spoke up out of blue. I don't see any harm in that. Kurogiri wiped the glasses as if he didn't invade the UA school few moments ago, but not right now since the police and heroes are looking for us at the moment. He set the glasses down. Why do you want to go out again? Any reason? This Noumu barely go out since he was created and today was the first time he went out, due to the real leader's wish and to see how it will affect the creature. No reason. Naruto replied as a certain memory passed through his mind. 2 weeks and few days later, Naruto sit in the same spot like before, but instead of watching the wall, he was staring at the television as they show the UA's sports festival. He overheard his creator telling Tamura to watch it and Kurogiri was kind enough to allow the boy to use his television while he went out for an errand. He has watched it from the beginning up to the matches between the top students and right now, the television were showing the replays of the final match. There, Naruto leaned in closer as the camera's paw changed couple times. There. Oi. The boy's head rotated to face Tamura as the ringleader walked up to his stool chair annoyingly before he checks the television. You're still watching that for days? Turn it off. No, Naruto turned back to the television. Ah, there. There, what? Tamura's eyes narrowed at the boy's back but the chanting creature just ignored him, increasing his annoyance and the villain was about to say something but the black fog emerged from nowhere before two figures appear into CD bar. I see, the new voice drawled out as the figure stepped out and his tongue snaked out to lick the side of his cheek, revealing to be Stain the hero killer. His eyes slowly drift over the three individuals as Kurogiri returned to his post behind the bar. So it was you bastards who raided UA, and you want to add me to your little gang, too? Yep, if you would. Tamura leaned on the bar with his elbow arrogantly, you're the great senpai of this criminal filth. What is your goal? Stain narrowed his eyes at the leader and Naruto glanced over his shoulder with a blink. First of all, we want to waste all might. Tamura replied, then we'd like to destroy all the things that aren't our liking. He pulled several pictures out of his pocket to present them to the hero killer as Stain glanced at the image of Izuku, like, say, these little shits, all of them. I was ill-advised to be interested. Stain sneered deadly, you, you're the type one despite the most. Hua. The leader raised his eyebrow behind his father's hand. You want me to rub shoulders with some childish temper tantrum? Ha, ha. Stain mocked him as he unsheathed his swords from his sides. What sense is there to bloodlust without a cause? Sensei, Kurogiri whispered to the lip monitor behind him, is it all right to keep this going? No, that is good. Sensei's voice spoke, if I simply tell him all the answers, it won't mean a thing. To make he himself think over his shortcomings, in so doing to stimulate his growth. That's what education is all about. Meanwhile in a different location far away from the CD bar, Jiro don't expect that two of her classmates would choose the same office for workplace and it was much unexpected because it happens to be one of the offices that's specializing in combat. She chose this place because of USJ incident with this crazy bastard. She realized that she need to work on her strength and get some experience in combat but what was the worst of all is, her hands clenched into fists. That guy just humiliated her. The way he talk and act toward her, she know the bastard can easily take her out from seeing his speed and strength up close and yet, he didn't. It makes her feel so powerless and useless as if she was just an insect to him and she hate this feeling. Why the long face, Jiro-chan? A cheerful voice snaps Jiro out of her thought and the rock lover blinks her eyes rapidly at the floating clothes. It's nothing, Toru. Jiro waved it off coldly. You sure? Toru asked, because you look way broody than Fumikage. Excuse me. The said boy turned his crow-like head to them, leaning against the wall with crossed arms. It turned out they were waiting in the dojo-like room. Yes, I'm sure. Jiro rubbed her right forearm with a grumble. She have checked it out with the doctor and to her confusion, the doctor informed her that her bone looked like it never had been broken the whole time. Her small action was noticed by the shadow controller. Thinking about this Naruto guy? Fumikage glanced at her. He heard about her run-in with the said person in the mountain zone and several students mentioned that they saw him trying to take All Might on. Toru looked between them. Oh, maybe, but I don't want to talk about it. Jiro scowled. It make me really pissed off. When I get my hands on him, I'm gonna. She cursed under her breath as she make various death threats quietly and Toru slowly back away from her with a shiver. So scary, the invisible girl's sweat dropped, her male classmate just shrugs it off. Haha, you three are so early. A booming voice laughed as the students looked up to see two men walk into the dojo and the laughing bald man shouldered his giant shinai. He stands at 6 foot tall and his muscular body was covered with countless tattoos and scars, even they were all over his face. Youths these days, so eager for everything. Right, Crow? He peeked at the 7 foot and 5 inches tall lanky man, and the lanky man nodded his head at him with a soft smile. He looked so much like a scarecrow, due to his tattered clothes and his sewed mouth. Good morning, tattooed Bancho, Crow. Fumikage greeted politely. Tisk, don't call me that. Tattooed Bancho clicked his tongue annoyingly. I hate that name. I can't forgive this damn reporter for naming me that, fucking reporter. Because of this bitch, everyone stuck this fucking name on me. Fuck them. I never asked for that or approved that. Fuck. He ranted to the point where he just throw every swear words out and everyone just stare at him until Crow suddenly swing his fist downward onto Bancho's head. Oi, you fucker. Bancho tackled Banshee down with a battle cry. That hurt. Are you trying to do, fucker? Cammy. Why in the world did I chose this place? Jiro looked up to the ceiling annoyingly as the two adults fight each other like a children. Don't you say you picked this place for Bancho's usable of sound quirk in combat? Toru replied, and Jiro pinched the bridge of her nose. In order to accomplish anything, you need a creed. Stain pinned Tamura down to the countertop with his blades after he managed to paralyze Kurogiri and Naruto with his quirk, a mind. That those weaklings, who lack them both, are cold is only natural. That is why you'll die. OWWWW. You're too strong, damn it. Tamura laughed with a whimper before his eyes glanced over to his second-in-commander, Kurogiri. Quick, send him back. His eyes shifted over to the frozen boy. You, do something. Our body, it won't move. Kurogiri struggled to move himself as Naruto just stared at the hero killer. His grasping hand froze in the air as if he was trying to grab something. This must be the work of the hero killer's quirk. The word, hero, has lost all meaning, Stain preached. In this society overrun by fakes, even criminals who are just aimlessly scattering around their power become target to purges. The blade slowly leaned in closer toward the dismembered hand on Tamura's face, and the leader's eyes widened. Just wait a sec. Tamura suddenly grabbed the blade's edge with his hand as he growled deadly, this palm. You can't. The blade crumbled under his hand. I'll kill you. His warning received a reaction from Stain. You're awfully talkative. A conviction? A creed? I ain't got anything so dramatic, though if I were forced to say, it's all might. A psychotic grin formed under his father's hand with glee. I want to crush the society where that trash is set up so high and mighty to the goddamn ground. That's what I've been thinking. He swung his arm forward, but Stain dodged it with a backward jump and he was about to lunge. So that's what you're about. Stain spoke as Tamura stared at him out of curiosity. It seems our goals lie at polar opposites, but destroying today's society is one point we have in common. Are you fucking kidding me? Tamura spat. Get the fuck out and die. Aren't I the type you despise the most? I tested your mettle. The hero killer replied. Those at death's door always express their true colors. You're an odd one, but, mind. The sprouts of crooked creed dwells inside you. He looked around at each individual. I wonder what fruit those sprouts will bear. I might save disposing of you for after I've ascertained you with my own eyes. It probably won't be too late. Dispose of us, Tamura scoffed. I hate the idea of having such a nutjob around as a party member. Shigaraki Tamura, if we add him to our ranks, then our battle power will magnify. Kurogiri said sternly as he flexed his arms. The negotiations have come through. That order of business is settled, Stain said. Now return me to Hosu. There's still something I've left to do there. One of the villains was about to speak up, but... What is creed? The hero killer's head turned sharply to Naruto at his usual spot as the boy stared at him blankly, and Stain narrowed his eyes at the blonde boy, ignoring the massive headache. Oh, fuck. Tamura held the side of his head. I told you to not use this quirk, you fucking useless thing. What is creed you speak of? Naruto tilted his head at Stain as he ignored Tamura, which pissed the leader off. What is that? It's something to explicate the actions that lead you to your goal, Kurogiri explained. A goal? The blonde boy turned his head to the teleporter as Stain watched on. Goal? What is my goal? What is our goal? Nothing, Tamura snarled. You and the Noumus are the weapons for the party member. Their purpose is nothing but to follow our order, something that you useless tool can't do. Naruto stares at him for a few moments before he turns back to the television. The leader took it as a sign that the boy understands him. That one. Stain narrowed his eyes at the boy more as he studied their body signs the whole time. Something is off with him. I wonder if... My apologies. Kurogiri set the glasses down on the bar with a click, unknowingly snapped Stain out from his thought. You said Hosu, correct? Do you have a specific location for me to send us there? Yes, the hero killer muttered. Hey, before we go, Tamura whispered to Kurogiri as soon as an idea hit him. I want to pick up a couple of things or three at this place. Somewhere in Hosu, a black fog formed above a building's water tower, and Stain was first to step out, following by Tamura, Kurogiri and Naruto. Hosu, man, Tamura muttered, it's surprisingly prosperous. I'm gonna reform this town, and for that, more. Stain looked over the city as his tongue flicked out. Sacrifices are needed. Is this the thing you've left to do? That you spoke of earlier? Kurogiri asked, and Naruto looked around, taking in the sight. You're the kinda guy who gets it. The hero killer glanced over, indirectly mocking the leader. Don't keep pushing your luck, Tamura clicked his tongue. The title, hero, should only be permitted to those who have achieved great undertakings. Stain spreading his arms wide open as he faced the city again. There's too many of them, counterfeit heroes, who worship the almighty dollar. He leapt off the building. Until society realizes its error on its own, I shall continue to appear. You keep waxing on like that. You want to raise up a damn grassroots movement or what? Tamura complained to himself as he watched the hero killer disappear into the urban jungle. I'm about to weep from the gallantry. You can't make fun of him for that. Kurogiri spoke up as his allies turned to him. The places where he's appeared up to now have seen crime rates abating across the board. One theorist has it that there's been bashing linked to the increase of awareness of heroes. Wow, that's fantastic, Tamura said sarcastically. So the heroes doing their best reduces the number just in it to put food on their tables. The hero killer is also the hero breeder. How circumspect. He crossed his arms bitterly. As I thought, at root, we just don't get along. Pisses me off. He glanced over, release the Noumus. I'm not satisfied with having a blade in my side. If you want to kill shit, then kill shit. He laughed madly as Kurogiri summoned 3 new Noumus. This is a completion of who can rampage the most. I'm gonna take your precious pride, your self-worth, your prestige, and crush them, great senpai. Tamura send the new Noumus out into Hosu to create chaos before he turns to Naruto. Now you see? They follow my orders without any problem. That's how useful they are. I still don't understand why Sensei wants to keep you around. You're lucky that we can't destroy you because of your heel quirk. A butterfly. Naruto weren't paying attention to him, due to a blue butterfly that fluttered near him and the boy followed it with his eyes before it land on his hand. He raised his hand up in front of his eyes. That's the first time he have seen a creature and he stare at it for a while before Tamura kill it by grabbing his hand violently. Oi! Listen to me when I speak. Tamura growled before he turns back to the skyline annoyingly. Fucking useless piece of shit. The blonde boy stares at the green smear on his hand with a tilted head before he look up to him. Why did you kill it? The blonde boy asked flatly. Huh? The leader scoffed at his question. It's just a fucking useless bug. There are no point for them to exist since they didn't do anything useful. They exist for nothing but to be killed. That is survival of the strongest. Weaklings is weeded out to die. He watched on as several pillars of smoke rise from the skyline and the blonde boy tilt his head again. His eyes dart over to the city with a blink. We interrupt the bulletin in progress with live footage. The reporter lady shouted in the helicopter on the television screen as it flew over Hosu. Sudden black smoke and sounds of destruction rising from the scene. Itsuka looked at the screen before she turns to Momo. Do you know anyone in Hosu? She knows there were some workplaces in the city but she wasn't sure if she knows anyone going there. I know Iida and Todoroki are there but I'm not worried about them since they have enough common sense to leave it to the pro, Momo said before something catch her eyes from the news and her eyes widened, causing Itsuka to glance back puzzlingly. What's that over there? The reporter asked as the camera zoomed into the water tower, showing 3 figures on top of the tower as they look over the city. Rubberneckers? Camping out way over there? I don't know, the cameraman's voice replied as the camera keeps zoom in to get a good look and one of the figures suddenly turned his head toward the camera. His eerily eyes stare back. Eek. The cameraman nearly dropped his camera as the figure tilted his head and the black mist man turned to him before it looked up to see them. That is bad, Momo said, worried for the reporter's safety. What's the matter? Itsuka asked confusingly. There are the villains that invaded the USJA a while ago, Momo replied and Itsuka quickly looked back at the television. Naruto had been watching the battle between Stain and these students from UA Academy in the distance with one of his quirks before he hears something above him and he looked back to see a helicopter with a cameraman and reporter inside. Ah, helicopter. Naruto tilted his head. Kurogiri glanced up to see the helicopter. Look like we have to get out of here before they report us to the nearby pro heroes. Whoa there, buddy. Tamura suddenly threw the binocular away furiously after he saw the aftermath of the battle and the loss of one of his Noumus at Stain's hands. What the fuck are you doing? How the hell did that Noumu get killed? And what are those little shits doing there? I can't even find the words, fucking goddamn. Why? He tugged his collar down furiously. Why won't it all just go as I want? He clenched his hands tightened as soon as he found out that the rest of his Noumus had been incapacitated. Do I collect them? Naruto suddenly spoke up. No, let's go home. The leader growled angrily. Are these results to your satisfaction? Kurogiri summoned his quirk, Shigaraki Tamura. Dumbass. Tamura grunted as the black fog covered them. That all depends on tomorrow. The next day, Tamura shredded the newspaper as he listens to the news and they all keep talking about the hero killer and the attacks. He's all over the news, the leader complained, and the Noumus are always only mentioned second. Like they'd forget him now. In fact, we're the ones that are being treated like second bananas. He stormed out of the bar, so fucking annoying. Are you sure it's okay to leave him be, sensei? Kurogiri polished the glasses with a sideway glance. Yes, like I said, he will learn few things from this result and it will give him more motivate for the near future. Sensei's voice spoke from the monitor and everything was quiet until the voice speaks again. Oh, would you be kindly to wrap Naruto into this place? I have get my hands on a very interesting quirk that would be very useful for you guys. Oh, Kurogiri hummed. Are you sure that you want to give it to him? I mean, once you grant it to him, you can't get it back because of. I know, Sensei replied. I don't mind it since I have no need for this interesting quirk. After all, I have some powerful quirks that will allow me to kill one for all off for good. Send him in. As you wish. Kurogiri turned to Naruto, who have been unmoving for hours in his spot, as he create the black fog. Naruto, your creator have a upgrade for you. Please step in. Yes. Naruto calmly stood up and he walked into the black hole before he vanishes from the sight as the teleporter turned back to his glasses. The first thing the blonde see is a cold metal table and he take a quick glance around in a large warehouse, many crates surrounding him and he spots some developing Noumus in several large metal crate. Hello, Naruto. The said boy turns his head to see his creator in his suit, revealing his scarred eyeless face. How long have it been since your sensei tightened his tie, upgrade? Were there any problem with it? 1 year ago. Naruto replied, no, the enhanced reflex quirk has been useful when I combine it with other quirks. Ah, sensei nodded pleasingly, what about this quirk? Did it give you something new? Yes, the boy brings his right hand up before his fingernails expand out like a claw as the veins bulging out around his fingertips. It comes in 5 months ago and I discovered that it only work with right hand. Interesting. Sensei waved it off uninterestingly before he gestured at the table. Anyway, lie down and I'll upgrade you in a moment. Naruto obeyed him as he lied down and his creator places his hand on the boy's chest. Creator, what kind of quirk am I getting? Naruto asked. You'll find out eventually. Sensei used his quirk and the boy blacked out. It was very common for the Noumus to black out each time he grant a quirk. He pulls a note out, flicking it at the sleeping boy's side and he uses his quirk to teleport out from the place. Everything was so quiet for several hours until a zippy footsteps can be heard in the distance and a bizarre creature peek out behind the crate before it zip at the side of the boy. Bahuum. The creature poked the boy with its arm. Bahuum, Bahuum. Naruto slowly opened his eyes to see a four-legged slug lizard white creature with clay-like human face and eyeless snakes for arms, many small tentacles on its back. The odd feature it has is 2 tentacle antennas were covered with some red polka dot socks. Are you awake? Who are you? Naruto merely blinked as if it was a normal sight. It's me. The creature smiled. You know, me. You are a Noumu, right? The boy said. Yeah. The creature nodded happily. I'm a Noumu. The snake arm beat on its chest. Something is in us. The boy tilted his head slightly before the creature point at the metal crate. We're different from the other Noumus. How should I say it? They're like empty shells. Its snake arm shift to the blonde, but you and I have a thing in us. I do not understand. Naruto replied. I'm in me. The creature pointed at itself with a smile. The boy blinked. I do newt know for what Ray Asen I was born buet I am me. The creature suddenly sang before it thrust the snake arm at him, take it. I do newt know. Naruto sang before he closed his mouth, why do I need to say this? Ha. The creature laughed, that's it. That's proof that you've got it in you. Ha 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 ha. Its snake arms enlarged out, beating on the floor with a roaring laughter as the boy watched on in confusion. I do not understand that. The boy spoke and the creature halted its laughter to stare at the boy stone-faced. You and I have something inside us. The creature repeated, something that make us alive. Like the living beings, humans. Alive, Naruto said flatly, but we are living weapons, a tool for the creator and his allies. No, we are not weapons or tools. The creature waved its arms wildly, you and I are different from them, its point at the crate again, we can think, we can speak, we have it in us, we can feel it. Feel it. The boy blinked. Yes, yes. The creature nodded furiously, it make us question things. Have you ever asked some questions that make you think more? Yes, Naruto nodded, but what is something? Why cannot you tell me? Because I can't. The creature crossed its arms with a shaking head, it is something that you have to ask someone who know the answers. All you have to do is ask the right one. Do I ask the creator? The boy asked. No. The creature shook its head. Tamura, Kurogiri. No, no. The creature shook its head again, you can't ask the bad people. They'll give you wrong answers. Wrong answers? Naruto asked confusingly, but they are correct about everything. Yes, they are, the creature hummed in deep thought, but it's because they are bad guys and to them, their answers are right, but. Do you think it's right? It bumped the arm against its chest, what did it tell you inside? Have you ever asked someone different to hear their answer, someone like good people or pro-heroes? Have you? Yes, the boy replied, one time. And what did you think of this person's answer? The creature asked. I do not know, Naruto muttered, it breed more questions and I want to ask more but. Then go find this person and ask them. The creature cut him off excitingly as it banged the table with its arms, you will finally find the answer to everything. Like what is inside us. Why does it have to be me? The boy asked the creature, why not you? It has to be you. The creature looked down, because you are the special one. You're different from me in a way, because you were born from, it pauses in mid-sentence as it notices a paper on the table, what's that? Ah, it is from the creator. Naruto picked it up to read the paper, it says I need to train with the new quirk. The creature looked at the boy, could I say something more to help him or? He was going to tell him the origin of his birth but it decides to hold the info back, due to its gut feeling. Oh, where is my manner? The creature gasped as it catches the boy's attention, do you have a name? Naruto. The boy answered, and you are. I do not have one. The creature wailed with gaped expression as if it just forgets its name. Hey, will you give me one? Naruto stare at him for a while and he look around until he see different logos on the crates. Salad Udon. The boy named the creature. Salad Udon. The creature dropped its jaw in shock as its body shakes. My name is Salad Udon. Do you not like it? Naruto asked with blank expression as if he didn't say anything wrong. No, I love it. The creature hopped around excitingly as it starts to singing, my naaameiss salad udon. I am salad udon. My naaamee. Naruto watched the singing creature for a long time before he walk away to test his quirk as he pound on his conversation with odd Noumu who keep rambling nonsense, wondering what was inside him. 2 weeks later after Naruto got used to his new quirk and right now, he was standing in front of Kurogiri as the teleporter hand a wad of caches to the boy. He hasn't told anyone about Salad because the creature stressed that he can't tell a soul about the creature or their conversation and it will end bad for them both. When he questioned the creature about certain things, Salad keep changing the topic or dance away with an odd song after it told him that he won't understand. Remember, Naruto, do not take this sunglasses off. Kurogiri warned the blonde boy, and do not do anything that would catch the pro's attentions. If you do, run and tell me so I'll wrap you out there. Understand? Yes, I understand. Naruto nodded his head. He wear a red hoodie with blue jean that cover his black sneakers and a pair of sunglasses that cover his unique eyes. It's his first day out in the real world without any villains and Sensei told Kurogiri to let him so he can have some experience to disguise himself and hide himself from public sight if anything went south. I'll be off. Have you decide where you will go today? Kurogiri asked so he can know where to bail Naruto out, just in case. Yes, the mall. The blonde boy walked out of the bar. The mall. Kurogiri muttered to himself as Tamura entered the bar. He wonder where did Naruto pick this word up from. Many people walk around in an opening mall, known as Kiyoshi Ward Shopping Mall, and Naruto stand in the middle of the crowd unmoving as he look around curiously. He start to wander around, glancing at each stores he walk past while he also glance at the humans around him and they all have different kinds of expressions that he never have seen on these villains, he can't explain it very well but they stand out for some reasons. The boy's feet stop in front of a bookstore as a title of a book catch his eyes and he read it out loud to himself. Importance of insects. Naruto tilted his head as he remembered Tamura's comment about useless bugs and he looked at the book again, remembering Salad's conversation. For some reason, he pick it up before he step inside and the boy scan each books as he search for some certain topics or anything that catch his interest. Importance of insects. Wildlife of the world. Naruto checked the books in his bag as several people gave him odd looks for talking out loud. Inside our body, something bright catch his eyes and he halt in his walk to take a good look behind the store's window. It was an orange jacket with a ridiculous price tag and the boy just stare at it blankly. The shoes store must be over there. Ashido gestured at a certain direction as she walked with Toru, Iida, Momo and Kaminari. The creator decide to tag along since Jiro already purchased a large duffel bag and decide to check a nearby music store. Alright. Toru suddenly ran forward. Last one there has to pay half for the winner. Don't run. Iida warned her. You will hurt someone if you run or do not pay attention to your surrounding and he rambled on. Chill, don't be such a warrior. The invisible girl bump into someone, nearly knock the person down and the figure's sunglasses fall off his face. Oh, sorry. She apologized, I wasn't paying attention. Ah, sunglasses, the person muttered with his head down, reaching out for his sunglasses. What did I just tell you? Iida rushed over before everyone hears a crack and he slowly looked down to see that he just accidentally stepped on the sunglasses, breaking it in half. I am very sorry. He bowed furiously, let me pay you for the new one. It is fine, I have no need for it. The figure lifts his head up and Momo's eyes widened at the familiar face of Naruto as his unique eyes stare at Iida and Toru. Have we met before? Toru tilted her invisible head with finger on her cheek, you look familiar. Get back. Momo hissed under her breath as she pulled them back while Kaminari and Ashido looked between them confusingly. He's one of the guys that attacked us at USJ. What? Iida turned to the blonde boy as he pushed his glasses up, he's a villain. He quickly looked around at his surrounding in horror as the students get on guard without letting the bystanders know to prevent a chaotic scene. Does that mean they're gonna attack the mall with these innocent people this time? He chopped the air in front of him, pointing at the blonde boy. What are your nefarious plans? Naruto glanced down at his right side and everyone follow his gaze down to a shopping bag in his hands, which they can see some books, before he looked back up. There is no mission. I am here to shopping. What? Momo uttered and her classmates blink at him. They don't know how to react to the news or ever heard of a villain shopping in an opening place, where pro-heroes can arrest the criminals. I am here to shopping. The blonde boy repeated to her, mistaking it as a question. I remember you were with Jiro. He looked around. Where is Jiro? Is she here? I want to see her. His last sentence caused the students to stiffen up with suspicion expression. No, why? Momo lied with gritted teeth. I do not know. Naruto replied flatly with tilted head, I want to ask her questions. I want to know the answers. What kind of question? Toru asked nervously as the blonde boy turned to her before his eyes gaze at each student and he tilt his head. Do you have something inside you? Ah, my head. A random bystander yelped out as the crowd held onto their heads, complaining about sudden headaches and the students look at the blonde boy with bad headaches. Something. Toru winced at her headaches. Yes, Salad said we have it in us. Naruto said as the students stared at him in confusion, but Salad will not tell me what it is. He brings his hands up. Salad said we are different from Numus because they are empty shell and we have something inside us, like humans. What are you talking about? Iida narrowed his eyes. I do not know. The blonde boy tilted his head. Salad and I are Numus, but Salad said we are same like humans. Numus. Momo blinked before she realized something. Naruto, are you saying you're a Noumu? Like these things that attack Hosu and USJ? Yes. Naruto nodded. We are Numus, the living weapons who must obey him. Tamura. Iida muttered, trying to make a head out of this one. No, our creator. Naruto said eerily as it sent shivers down the student's spine, all for one. What are you Momo whispered before the loudspeaker cut her off. Due to the security reason, the mall is closing now and everyone will be escorted out by police for your safety. The voice spoke, we apologize for any inconvenience. Thank you for understanding. I will be going. The blonde boy spun around on his heels and he walked off into the crowd. Hey, wait. Iida attempted to stop the boy with the rest of his classmates, but it was too late as soon as they lose sight of him among the confusing crowd. Naruto stepped into the bar and he spot 3 new faces as they glance at the door with different reactions. A schoolgirl skip up to him cheerily. Hiya, I'm Toga Himiko. Are you here to join Villain's Alliance because of Mr. Staney? The blonde boy just walks past her without uttering a word and he sit down in his usual spot, staring at the wall. Oi, it's rude not to answer her. A man in black and gray suit suddenly stands at his side with waving arms before he give him a thumb up. It's alright to not answer her, you must be pretty shy. Tisk, another one. The stitched littered teenager muttered. He's not here to join us because he is one of us from the beginning. Kurogiri cleaned the bar counter before he looked at the boy. Naruto, let me introduce you to the new recruits. He gestured at the teenager boy, that is Dabi. The one at your side is twice and you already met Toga Himiko. He shifted his arm to the blonde boy, that is Naruto. Wait, you outranked me and you're so young. Twice gasped at the blonde boy, damn you. Don't think about pushing me around. I'm looking forward to work with you, Senpai-sama. Ooh, he's so cute but he's totally not my type. Himiko giggled, I like my man tattered and bloody like Mr. Staney. Hey, what is he like in person? Tell me. Again, Naruto just ignore her. Is he mute or what? Dabi muttered. Oh, Naruto. Kurogiri spoke up. How was the mall? Did you get something? It was interesting. Naruto replied with deadpan expression as he raised the bag up before he put it back on his lap. I bought 3 books that might give me some answers. He turned back to the wall again. Oh, so he speak. Dabi scoffed. Do he have something against us like Tamura? No, it's just how he is. Kurogiri served him a non-alcoholic drink. After all, he's a Noumu. A what? Dabi corked his eyebrow. It will be explained in time. Kurogiri turned back to the shelves and the recruits glanced between him and the blonde boy. Wait, what? Jiro narrowed her eyes at her classmates after they leave the mall. The psycho was asking for me. Why yeah. Momo scratched her cheek nervously. It's good thing that you were not with us when it happened. Who would know what will go down between you two? Jiro, you need to be more careful from now on. Iida said worriedly. He knows your name and he seems to be after you for some reason. I bet the reason is he has a thing for her. Ashido joked, drawing a deadly glare from the music lover. Don't be fucking ridiculous. Jiro shot daggers at her with a deep scowl. The last thing I want is some fucking psycho stalker. I was just kidding. The pink-skinned girl held her hands up with nervous laughter and Jiro stomped away as couple classmates can't help but to shaking their heads at Ashido. Don't be mad. I'm sorry. Several days later at night, several figures stand at the edge of a cliff, overlooking a forest, and one of them speak up with a raspy voice. It throbs, the cloaked figure hissed, pulses, let's hurry up and go. It's not yet time. The middle school student replied under his gas mask, also, didn't I tell you? We don't have to overdo it. Yeah, quit tryna, act like the boss. The third figure turned his head, revealing to be Dabi. We're only sending up a warning flare this time. These heroes, riddled with holes, will fall to the earth. He smiled wickedly, all for the sake of a brighter future. But I totally hate this. Himiko fastened her gas mask, it's not cute at all. We had an underground designer make these for us. The gas masker replied, regardless of how they look, they will serve their purpose and function properly. This is me caring. Himiko snarled, they're still so not cute. Honestly, I couldn't care less about all that crap. The giant figure hissed angrily with flexing hand, just let me at him already. I'm so amped up, I'm shaking in my boots. Shut up, You psychopaths. Dabi glanced over his shoulders with a scowl. It's not time yet, not until. Several more figures appeared behind them, all 11 of us are together. Sorry, we're late. A long-haired man with glasses smirked coldly. Job. The bondage-wearing man moaned. Job. We can call up as many poser punks as we want, all that gonna happen is the job'll get risker. The long-haired man said, if we're gonna do this, we need a select team of experienced members. First we drill into their heads, Dabi spoke, that their peaceful lives are over. When is the time? Naruto stood next to a chainsaw-wielding Noumu. Tomorrow night. Dabi replied, Kurogiri give us an info that they're gonna have a courage challenge and it's an ideal time to hit them. His eyes peeked at the blonde boy out of the corner of his eyes. Remember, follow the plan and complete your mission without any fail. The blonde Noumu does not give him any reply and Dabi release a faintly huff before he turned to the others to make sure that they understand their roles. Naruto just stare at the forest motionlessly. The UA students were making curry for dinners under the eyes of their teachers and pro-heroes. Pixie Bob stare at some male students with darting eyes as she tried to figure out who she will call dib on for the possible marriage before she noticed Ragdoll at her side and she realized the blue-haired woman was too quiet, way far out from her character. What's the matter? Pixie Bob asked curiously, causing Ragdoll to leap up slightly. Oh, nothing. Ragdoll grinned widely before she looks back at the students. It's just, her grin saddened as she places her right hand on her belly. He should be at their age now. Oh. Pixie Bob's eyes widened at her with a small wince. Sorry, I forget about. Don't be. Ragdoll smiled sadly. It's no one's fault but mine. Hey, it's not your fault. Pixie Bob frowned. No one know what was going to happen this day. Yes, it was, the blue-haired woman whispered softly. Because of me, he's gone. Hey, Ragdoll, are you okay? Kirishima asked with a concern after he notices her expression. Yeah, I'm 100% fine. Ragdoll suddenly threw her hands up with a wide grin as she hopped around hyperactively before she thrust her paw glove at him. You better eat up more because we're not gonna hold back tomorrow morning and we're gonna work you hard to raw. Oh okay. Kirishima gulped with paled face. He doesn't want to go through this training again tomorrow morning. Pixie Bob glanced at her friend sadly as she moved around the students with a hyperactive giggle, unsure what to say right now. The next night, Naruto stand alone behind trees as he wait for the signal and his eyes draw to the full moon in the starry sky. He keeps staring until a voice speaks into his earcom. Now, it begins. Dabi's voice uttered, fall to the earth. Villain Alliance, first strike team. The blonde boy step out onto the trail, stroll up the trail as he keep his eyes out for his targets or anyone that come across him. He don't know how many minutes have gone by since he wander around in the forest and it take a while until he come across a sight of 3 people as they run toward his direction. He takes a step forward and the group suddenly halts in their trail as soon as they see him. His eyes study each individual swiftly, a female with thorny vines for hair and 2 males, a large male appear to have head that look like some kind of glue top with 6 holes in front, another male look like a Bigfoot with large canine teeth. Is he a student or one of these villains? The Bigfoot male stared at Naruto through his glasses. They were fleeing from the poison gas and they happened to receive a permission to use their quirks to defend themselves. I've never seen him before, so he must be the latter. The girl muttered and they stay on their guards while he stares back. You 3 are not on the list. Naruto finally speak up after a long pause of silence, neither targets. List. The girl uttered with a whisper and the blonde boy suddenly takes another step forward, causing the Bigfoot boy to react on his natural instinct. Shishida. Wait, she called out as the Bigfoot boy charged toward Naruto. We don't know anything about him. Shishida used his feet to kick himself off the ground and he leap above behind Naruto's back, his right leg swing downward to the blonde boy's head. Naruto can see the wild boy's leg out of the corner of his eyes and the boy's right hand snake out, gripping on Shishida's outstretching ankle before the blonde boy smashed the wild boy against the ground in front of him. Shishida gritted his teeth with widened eyes as he quickly roll away at his left side, handling his bruised leg and he tense up as soon as the blonde boy take third step forward before the glue-like liquid flow around Naruto's legs. The wild boy can feel the giant hands picking him up with a yank, pulling him away from the Noumu and he look up to the giant male. Thank, Bondo. The said giant nod wordlessly. I told you to wait. The girl hissed as her vine hairs wrapped around Naruto's upper body. Sorry, Shiozaki. Shishida apologized before he looked at the blonde boy. This guy's quirk must be enhanced reflex, like mine. He rubbed his bruised leg as he winced from his sore back, plus, his strength is no joke. Shiozaki opened her mouth, only to tensed up as soon as she feel the tearing of her vines and she sharply turned around with widened eyes as Naruto removed the vines from himself. How is that possible? She thought until she spot the expanding claw fingernails from his right hand and she realized that he just cut through the vine ropes without her noticing. Naruto lift his left leg up, tearing through the glue enclosure and he break his other foot free before he walked toward them calmly. Bondo, make a wall. Shiozaki hollered out and the giant boy obeys her, creating a giant wall out of glue liquid. The hand break through the wall with an ease and another hand break through before the wall split apart in half, due to Naruto. As soon as it happened, a bind of thorny vines whipping toward his face and he leaned his head back, receiving a small cut across his nose brigade. He quickly grabbed the vine whip with his left hand and he fixed his glance on Shiozaki. He was about to yank her toward him but Shishida quickly bite the bind of vines to free his classmate as he ignored the taste of metallic iron in his mouth. The blonde boy dropped the vines down as the cut on his nose brigade fade away, something that surprised his opponents, and Bondo charged toward the blonde boy to buy his classmates some time. The giant attempt to grab him with his large arms but Naruto ducked under the swing at last minute, stepping closer to Bondo's chest and the blonde boy cork his right fist back before he strike the giant's left ribcage as it sent Bondo flying across the field until his back hit the tree. The shattered shards fling away from the trunk and one of the shards cut across Shiozaki's right cheek deeply, drawing a blood. Bondo. Shishida called out worriedly before he turns his eyes to Naruto with a deadly glare. He charged toward the boy with a roar but Naruto suddenly appeared behind him with his elevated hand before the boy smash it on the wild boy's back with a mighty chop and Shishida scream out in pain as he feel his spine snapping in half, forcing him to plop on the ground in agony. Shishida, Bondo, Shiozaki dropped down on her rear with a terrified tremble. This guy just took them out without a blink and she finches the blonde. No, a monster turned his eyes to her. With a stride, Naruto look over her with his chilling eyes and his right hand reach out toward her. She quickly closed her eyes with another shiver as she wait for her soon-to-be demise but she feels something warm on her cheek and Shiozaki slowly peek out of her eyes to see Naruto's hand, touching her cheek with a tender. Wah! She stare at the boy's face before she noticed something. When did he cut his cheek? There was a deep cut on his right cheek before it vanishes slowly. Naruto silently remove his hand from her cheek and he move over to Bondo as the giant breathes shallowly, due to the caved-in rib, before the blonde boy place his hand on the giant's chest. Bondo's breathing slowly returns to normal and Shiozaki's eyes widened at the sight of Naruto's caved-in chest before it repair itself. Once again, Naruto move over to Shishida and he touch the wild boy's back with his right hand. What the hell? Shishida whispered in shock as he felt his agony fading away, witnessing the whole thing from his down position and he lifts himself up slightly with widened eyes. My back. It's not broken. Naruto abruptly dropped down on his back before he stand back up on his wobbly legs and he walked toward Shiozaki again as his shaking steps slowly become normal again. Her breath baited up as soon as Naruto get closer to her until he just walks past her without breaking his stride. Wait. Shiozaki quickly looked over her shoulder as he stopped in his trail, still shocked by his action. Did you just heal us? Why? She bit her lip. Why? Aren't you a villain? You should have ki. She can't bring herself to say it. That guy should have ended their heroic career or their lives. Because you are not on the list or the targets. Naruto replied without looking back. But why did you heal us if we are your enemies? Shishida stared at his back with suspicion. I do not know. The blonde boy said before he walk again, ignoring the shouting voices. That guy, what in the world is he? Shiozaki muttered shakily and Shishida does not say anything to her. She was dying somewhere in the forest and it don't look too good for Ragdoll. She tried to stop a certain villain from attacking the students but this person was too strong for her. Ragdoll barely see through her eyes as she hold onto her stomach, trying to stop the bleeding but it will end in vain because she knows she have lost so much blood. She shakily roll on her back to face the starry sky with shallow breaths and she have hard time seeing the stars with her blurry vision. Sorry, pussycat, Shirotoko Tomoko whispered softly. It look like. That's it, for me. The corner of her mouth twitches upward slightly. At least, my baby won't be alone any longer. Her eyes slowly close before they snap open as soon as she hear a footstep getting closer to her. Her quirk should have give her something but she have hard time with it because of her gravely wound, and a blurry figure stand above her. Target located. Are you a pro hero? A voice asked as its head tilted. I have some questions to ask you. Will you give me answers? Really? Are you? Ragdoll breathed heavily with a wearily laughter. Serious. I'm dying, and you want to ask me some questions. Sorry, I'll love to, but with these wounds, I can't, she hissed sharply as a hand pressed against her stomach. Wah, she gasped out as her wound close up and there was so much blood flowing through her body. Tomoko attempt to take a good look at her savior but she pass out from mental stress and exhaustion. Humans are so fragile. Naruto looked over Ragdoll's unconscious body as the deep gash on his stomach close up and he toss her over his shoulder. He was told to catch any pro heroes and bring them to the warehouse for his creator. The blonde boy starts to wander again for a while until he hears a voice above him. Oh, I see you get someone. A masked fancy gentleman hopped down from the tree branch as he hold onto his top hat, and a pro hero at that one. Bravo. Would you allow me to lighten your hostage? Yes, Mr. Compress. The blonde boy said and Mr. Compress uses his quirk to compress Ragdoll into a marble, which was caught by Naruto. You're gonna hold onto it. Mr. Compress tipped his hat back with his cane as Naruto just nodded slightly. Alright, he snapped his fingers as the blonde boy pocketed it in his hidden pocket within the spandex pant, but remember, she'll be released if you happen to be out of my radius or within a certain time limit. He can easily compress everything into a marble as long as he wish but there are some limit when it come to organism. Understand. Naruto walk away from his ally. Happy hunting. Mr. Compress called out with a chuckle before he hop up into the tree and he skip across the treetops with several flips. Hold on, we're almost there, Aoyame whispered to his unconscious classmates on his back with struggle. Momo just passed Toru and Jiro to him as soon as they run into each other and she told him to bring them back to the cabin while she searched for the stragglers. He kept carry them for a long time until he stopped to take a very short break to catch his breath as he hide themselves from the sight and he look at his classmates worriedly. They were in some pain because of this poison gas and the gas mask barely can help them at the moment. A snapped twig jolt him up and he looked behind to see a blond boy with unique eyes and birthmarks as he stare back before he glance at his classmates. Aoyame quickly recognize him as their enemy after he hears some description from his classmates who have ran into him before. Ah, Jiro. Before the French boy knows it, Naruto kneeled between Aoyame's classmates with a tilted head as he stares at her sweating paled face and he can hear her slow heartbeats. Is there something wrong with Jiro? He turned his eyes to Toru. This one is same like Jiro. He looked up to Aoyame, drawing out a flinch from him. Do you know why? They've been poisoned. Aoyame can't help but to answer him and he don't know why. If they don't get help in time, they'll die. Die. Naruto looked down at Jiro before he placed his hands on their chest and Aoyame was about to stop him with a shout, only to notice the blond boy's current stage. His face become paled as the colors return to Jiro's face and Toru start to breath normally. Aoyame checked their status in bewildered and he look up to Naruto as the Noumu stand up with some difficulty. I don't know what to say but his breath got caught in his throat after he saw the blond boy's expression and his eyes shakily follow Naruto's body as the Noumu quietly walk off into the forest. He doesn't know why he feels something inside him snap, he doesn't understand why it makes him acting like that when he sees Jiro like that. He was baffled by his tightened fists as they draw the blood out of his palms, even his footsteps leave behind a trail of deep imprints with cracks. He can feel something burn inside his chest and he want to get rid of it, he don't know why a face pop into his face, neither why he want to take this person out. He start to pick up his speed and the animals, that remained behind in attempt of bravely, scattered everywhere to get away from the Noumu. 2 against 1, so you thought one of you could hide and attack me by surprise, right? Mustard flashing his handgun around with a evil laughter after Tetsu shielded Itsuka from the bullet, so naive, that plan, he gestured at the gas fog around them, you see, this gas, it comes out of me, and I can control it. Every shaky movement of yours betrays you. I can sense it all. In other words, I can see right through you. He can sense someone coming from behind and he looked back to see Naruto with his blonde hairs covering his eyes. Now it's gonna be 2 against 2 and I don't have to do anything now. Shit. Itsuka helped Tetsu up as he covered his orifice. Momo told me about this guy, he's dangerous. Naruto. Now be a good weapon and key. Mustard laughed right before Naruto unexpectedly clawed his back out with his expanding fingernails and the gas controller screams out in pain as he move away from the Noumu. Why you? What the fucking or why? His breath hitched up in fear as he saw Naruto's face for the first time and the UA students behind him stiffened in similar stage. Mustard. Naruto snarled. His blood-red orbs, filling up his sclera, stare into Mustard's gas mask as if it was burning into his soul and his lips draw back like a snarling predator as his sneer show his fangs off. You poisoned Jiro. He lunged at Mustard with a savage roar and the gas controller barely dodges the swipe as it cut through several trees down. You did that to Jiro. Stop it. Stop it. The gas controller cried out with his right hand up as he crawled backward away from raging Noumu. I order you to stop. A fist strike into his face with a straight, shattering the mask in pieces as the gas controller hit the tree with a thud. What the hell? Tetsu spoke through his hands with widened eyes, aren't they on same side? We gotta stop them. Itsuka shouted, at this rate, he'll kill him. RRRRGH. The raging Noumu jump up in air and he attempt to stomp his feet down on the screaming gas controller's face but the giant hand swat him into the nearby tree. Naruto flip up on his feet as soon as he land on the ground and his red eyes sharply turn to Itsuka before a steel fist smash into the right side of his face, launching him into another tree. Alright, got a good one in. Tetsu pumped his right arm, he feel his fist land on the blond boy's face and this guy will stay down for good. His mini celebration was short-lived as Naruto stood back up and he have a broken jaw, which was rapidly healing right away with few cracks. Regeneration. His eyes widened, that don't make any sense. No one should have more than one quirk. The blond boy was about to charge at Tetsu but the gunshot catch his attention and he fixated his eyes upon Mustard as the gas controller fired his weapon at the raging Noumu, only to miss him by miles. This idiot. Mustard. Naruto charged toward the gas controller with a roar before the UA students can do anything to stop him and he throw a hard right hook at Mustard, only to bury his hand into the ground as Itsuka yank Mustard away from his range. Before she know it, Tetsu tackle her down as Naruto's legs swing pass over their heads and the blond boy once again lunge at Mustard. GG get back. Mustard held his handgun up with a scream and he was about to pull the trigger but the weapon fall apart in pieces, due to Naruto's right claw. The gas controller's eyes widened in fear as the raging Noumu hold his left fist up with a savage snarl, the moonlight at its back creating a terrified silhouette. Naruto bring it down but Tetsu and Itsuka shoulder tackle the raging Noumu back and the steel boy drag the gas controller back by his collar. Let me go. Let me. Shut up. Tetsu knocked him out with a steel punch. This guy keep making it worse as long as he stays conscious. You hurt her. The roaring Numu's left arm gained a metallic gray tone, making it appear like an cybernetic arm, before his forearm morph into something. Weapon arm. Gatling gun. A small Gatling gun takes place of his forearm and he aimed it at Mustard's body with another roar. Fuck. Get down. Tetsu hardened his body as he shielded Itsuka and Mustard, just in time before the Noumu unleashed the hell of bullets at his back. Tetsu. Itsuka shouted out as soon as the gunfire ceased. I'm fine. The steel boy grunted out with a wince, around as nothing. He glanced over his shoulder, but how can we take this guy out? We threw everything at him and he keeps coming. Then we'll run. Itsuka muttered with gritted teeth until a theory formed in her head as she realized something, and before they know it, Naruto knocked them away in opposite directions. She quickly stood up from the ground with a painful grunt as the raging Noumu lift his right claw up over Mustard for a finishing blow and she have to take the gamble. Don't. She quickly place herself between Naruto and Mustard with her spreading arms and Naruto's red eyes flick down to her with a deadly growl. Itsuka, get out of the way. Tetsu scrambled up to his feet and Naruto was about to thrust his claw downward until. That's not what Jiro want. The claw stopped a few inches before the girl's eyes as the raging Noumu froze up. What would Jiro think of that if she knows? She barked, if you take a life then she will never forgive you for that. Jiro, Naruto whispered with a low growl as if he was snapping out of daze, Jiro do not want that. His red eyes flicked to Mustard as the sclera widened, but he hurt her. His quirk poisoned her, the sclera start to bleeding red again, Mustard must pay. Yes, he will pay for everything after we turn him into the police. Itsuka speak hastily, the justice sees to it and it will happen, I swear. Justice. His eyes color flicked back to blue as his fangs slowly transform back to normal teeth and the blonde boy bring his hand down, staring at Itsuka. Do Jiro want that? His response was a mutely nod as he tilted his head, I do not understand, but very well. He abruptly spun around on his heels and the blonde boy walked toward the woods. Then I must continue with my mission. Hey, wait. Tetsu quickly tried to stop the blonde boy, you're also a criminal and we'll have to take you in. Weapon arm. Flamethrower. Naruto said calmly as his left arm take a form of flamethrower and he spray the fire between him and the UA students, producing a wall of fire to keep them at bay. The steel boy quickly breaks through the fires with his quirk but he doesn't see the blonde boy anywhere in his sight. Damn it. The steel boy muttered before he returned to his classmate, I lost him. I really don't get him at all, they are on same side and yet. I think I do understand. Itsuka replied in deep thought, I heard a bit about him from Momo, a student from class 1A, and after seeing his action and reaction. Wait, isn't Jiro from class 1A too? Tetsu cut her off, does that mean he's obsessing with her or something? Well, that's one of few possibilities. Itsuka said, there is one strong possibility that I think but I'm not sure because he's a Noumu. The steel boy blinked confusingly since he never heard of Noumu before, I think in some kind of twisted way, he fall for Jiro. As planned, you have 5 minutes to rendezvous at the collection points. Mr. Compress spoke through the earpiece as Naruto wordlessly walk into a clearing and he quietly stand all by himself. After a while, a black fog form in front of him before Kurogiri step out and the teleporter glance at the blonde boy. Ah, you're on time. Kurogiri spoke, have you catch any pro heroes for sensei? 1. Naruto replied, oh, the teleporter hummed lightly, well, I guess that is not bad since it's very difficult to catch more than one pro heroes. He glanced at the boy, I'll send you to the warehouse first before I collect the rest of our comrades. Sensei won't appear at the warehouse until tomorrow morning so your mission is to watch after our guest. Understand. The blonde boy stepped through the black hole before he vanishes and Kurogiri wrap himself to the second collection point. Salad wander around the warehouse with a cheerful hum and the creature check each Noumu in the crates to see if there was any like Salad and Naruto, only to be disappointed when it find nothing. Nobody have it in them. Salad sighed before it hears a soft footstep and the creature peek out from its hiding place to see Naruto with some woman in his arms. Ah, Naruto. Salad ran over to the boy cheerfully before it looks down at the woman, who is she? She is a pro hero. Naruto placed Ragdoll on the table, I found her and she said she will answer my questions. Salad Udon release a shocked gasp before it slamming its arms on the floor repeating with excitation, really, she will. Wake her up. Wake her up. She will not wake up for a while because she went through a mental stress, due to heavy wound. The boy said with blank expression before he looks at her, but I can ask her the questions without waking her up. How? Salad asked. I will go into her mindscape. Naruto answered, time flow different here and in there. He placed his hand on Tomoko's forehead before he closed his eyes and he don't notice a smile on Salad's face behind him, everything is going very well and it can't wait to see the result. After all, there is a greater purpose for this boy. Tomoko find herself in a sunny field and she look around confusingly, noticing there was no cloud in sight and there was a barren field nearly. She finch at the sight of empty crib within the barren field and she hear a voice behind her. Are you ready to answer to my questions? She turned around to see a blonde boy. WW, who are you? Tomoko asked with widened eyes as she notices some certain features of the boy before she look around. Is that a dream? No, we are in your mindscape and my name is Naruto. Naruto replied as a chair materialized in front of him before he sits down backward with his arms on the headrest. I want to ask you questions. Why yes. Tomoko can't help but to say it since she don't know what's going on. Wait, did you said your name is? What are humans? For what reason were we born? Naruto opened his mouth, cutting her off. Humans, animals, insects, Noumu, what is our purpose in this world? What do I have inside me? Tomoko stared at him with gaped expression. To be continued. And that end the first chapter of N. Like it, hate it. If you want to know the reason why I cram everything in at once, it will be explained in the next chapter. Plus, I hope some of you catch some hints in few certain scenes, wink, nudge, wink. That's right, Naruto is a Noumu artificial human with many quirks for these who don't read the manga, and he's different from the rest of Noumus because he's self-awakened like salad udon. I got a crazy idea after I reread the manga, Dubutsu no Kuni, which I borrowed some elements like Naruto's peeling face, same like Luke's condition and his eyes, from and where salad udon come from. The reason why Naruto seems to be all over is because he recently become self-awakened and he start to question everything that he don't understand. He also experiences many things for the first time like emotions for example. Which might be why he seems to be obsessing with Jiro for some reason or. Here is the list of Naruto's quirks with some drawbacks. There are more than that but I won't spoiler anything else, you know me. Heal quirk. A combination of two different quirks. A unknown quirk allow him to take their injuries away but he gain their injuries and it must be recent within 5 days, meaning he can't heal any old injuries like All Might's serious injury for example. Second quirk is regeneration that allows him to heal himself and some of injuries will take time to heal, which counter the unknown quirk. Telepathy quirk. Allow the user to send message to anyone within range but it can infect headaches upon anyone when forced into their minds. Also allow the user to enter anyone's mindscape. Enhanced body quirk. Combination of various quirks that enhanced reflex, strength, speed and etc., which make user near superhuman. Or super Noumu in Naruto's case. Zoom quirk. Similar to Hatsume Mei's quirk. Weapon arm quirk. It can transform his left arm into any existing weapons but only one weapon can be used at a time. Unknown quirk. A mysterious quirk. Lock any quirks within his body, preventing anyone like All for one to steal them. Given by another mysterious quirk. Claw quirk. The user's fingernails can expand it out like feline and it can cut through anything but it can't cut through something tough like diamond. Berserker quirk. Given by All for one recently amp up the power of user by folds, even the quirks can be powered up, but it comes with cost. The user won't able to think straight, due to rage, and attack everyone in sight until something snap the berserker out or nothing is in its sight. Unknown quirk. A very unique quirk that grant him new quirks but it's very random and come at random time, it's possible the user will get a useless quirk. Chapter 2. What I have inside me is. What are humans? For what reason were we born? Humans, animals, insects, Noumu, what is our purpose in this world? What do I have inside me? Tomoko's mind reels back from Naruto's questions as they stare at each other. Tomoko can see that he was very serious and she wet her lips nervously. Oh, wow, she coughed. These are very big and there are a few pretty heavy questions, I don't know where to start with. Tomoko took a deep breath. Well, I don't know how to explain. I honestly don't know what we all are born for because everybody have different answers to that one. Some will say that we are a part of something greater plan, other will say that we are here to live our life to fullest, and other things. And what is your answer to this question? Naruto tilted his head. I think the reason why I am here is because I can help the others with my quirk like a hero. Tomoko scratched her cheek unsurely. That's all I can come up with right now. She looked at him. Hey, why did you involve Noumu in your question? I mean, there. Because I am a Noumu. The boy replied, I was created by my creator to be a living weapon. Wait, you're a Noumu. She blinked confusingly, but you don't have exposed brain like others, and how can you speak when the other don't? She knows about Noumu, due to her job. That I do not know. Naruto just answered, Salad told me we are different from them because we have something, innocent they are empty shells. Salad. Tomoko raised her eyebrow and she was about to say something but the boy cut her off. What is hero? The boy asked, why do humans protect each other? Because it's the right thing. Tomoko answered, as a hero, we will do whatever to help the helpless people in any situation without asking for anything in return. The reason why I become a hero is because of All Might, he always does everything to protect everyone and take any enemies on, no matter how many there are and he did it all with a smile. She lifts the corner of her mouth with her fingers, making a large smile. He once said that everybody can be a hero because there are no useless quirks and it make me so proud to have my own quirk. With search, I can aid my fellow heroes to rescue anyone in certain situation and point out the weaknesses if we met a villain stronger than us. Why? Naruto said, I was told that it is the survival of stronger and weaklings are weeded out because they are useless in this world. No, that is wrong. Tomoko shoot up on her feet. I don't know whoever told you about this world, but this person is wrong. No one in this world is weak or useless. That concept is wrong and it should be ridded. No one is useless. The boy looked down before he glances back up, even insects. Yes, Tomoko replied, wondering why he said that. They also have a purpose to exist in this world. That is correct. Naruto nodded. If it was not for the insects, the world will end because without them, there will be no plants or foods for the animals to survive, and without animals, humans will not survive. She blinked confusingly. What she doesn't know is that he just got it from a book. If the concept is wrong, then why do villains exist? He asked. They are humans who attack each other. Does that contradict with your answer? No and yes, because they want to abuse their power for their sinister purpose. Tomoko frowned. I can admit that there are some evil humans in the world and they will do anything to get what they want, but that is why we, the heroes, exist, so we can fight them to protect the innocents and bring them to the justice. Ah, same like her. Naruto blinked as he remembered Itsuka. I see, but you still don't answer my question. What is my purpose in this world? Tomoko blinked at him as he looked at his hands. I am a Noumu, but for some reason, I ignore the orders from my creator and his allies. I was told that the Numas have a duty to listen to these orders because we are a living weapon, but, he looked up to her, I think that is wrong. I was not born to do that. His hand clenched onto his chest. That is what it, tell me, but I do not understand. In the books, I learn that every living things have an important role, but there is nothing about us. His body trembles. Again, what is my purpose? What am I needed for in this world? Why do I think of that? Why am I useless? Why cannot I follow the orders like other? What is wrong with me? You, Tomoko's eyes widened as she realized something. Naruto, that, something, inside you, I think I know why you can't do what other Numas do is because, you're you. You are your own person and you can do whatever you want to do or to be. I do not understand. Naruto clutched his head. I do not understand. Of course, you don't because you're young. She suddenly hugged his head to her chest as he frozen up at the contact. It's okay to not able to understand anything because it's the adult's job to guide you along. Someday you will find your own answer and it will take a while. You don't have to rush it. She break them apart as she give him a beaming grin, so don't worry your head off and just smile. Naruto stared at her with widened eyes and she was about to say something but her vision went white all of a sudden. You Tomoko's eyes fluttered open and the first thing she saw was a face of a bizarre creature in her face. Hello, I am, Salad smiled widely, only to get punch in face from the screaming woman. What the hell are you? Tomoko screamed at the wailing creature as it hold its face. Salad Udon is a Noumu like me. A familiar voice spoke and she turned around to see the boy from her dream. No, he said it was her mindscape. Naruto, did you get all answers you want? Salad Udon appear at his side with a smile as if it doesn't get hit by the woman a while ago. Yes and no, Naruto answered, but I am satisfied with the answers I received. That's great. Salad smiled happily and it was about to say something but they sense a malevolent presence. Ah, he's here. The creature flees to hide itself. Who? Tomoko asked shakily as she tried to not throw up from the heavy atmosphere. How can this person have so much malevolent? My creator. The boy answered blankly, all for one. He comes here to take your quirk away. My quirk. She gasped in horror. And no. What will happen to me if you will slip into a coma and become one of us? Naruto gestured at the metallic crate. That is how the Numas are born. And no, you have to do something. Tomoko cried out worriedly before she hears a deep raspy voice. Ah, I see our guest is awake now. She turned around to see a person in black suit with some kind of large black mask. Oh. Sensei cupped his chin as soon as he saw his soon-to-be victim. My, that is so unexpected, he chuckled to himself darkly. What? Tomoko scowled angrily as she tried to get up, only to realize that she have been tied down to the table. Nothing. It's just fun that out of all pro heroes, he bring you here. Sensei said as he emphasized on you. I wonder if he have introduced himself to you. No. She kept stared at him angrily as he walked to Naruto's side before he gestured at the boy. Meet Naruto. He is a very unique Noumu for many reasons. Would you like to know why I name him Naruto or why he have this birthmarks? He adjusted his tie. To tell you the truth, I don't name him in first place. It was already given by someone. He leaned his head into her closer. A very dear mother who were expecting for her first child. Wah. Tomoko's eyes widened. No, it can't be. But unfortunately for her, she has a miscarriage just 8 months in after a tragedy accident. Sensei stood straight up as he placed his hand on Naruto's shoulders with a shaking head. No. Then the last relative of her bring a stillborn to me, begging me to do something. Sensei waved his left hand, so I decide to do a good deed by bringing the stillborn alive in exchange for his quirk and turn him into one of the Numas, which he gladly accept. It has to be a lie. It's gotta be a lie. And the life somehow has found a way to arrange a lovely reunion between the mother and her son for the first time. Sensei leaned his head closer to Naruto like a proud parent with a cruel chuckle. Say hello to your dear boy, Shirotoko Naruto. Why you bastard? Tomoko wailed out, trying to writhe herself out of her bound. I would like to keep the lovely family reunion going on. Sensei grabbed the shouting woman's head, but I'm afraid that I must cut it short because we have many things to do. Goodbye and good night. Tomoko give out a cry before she passes out as the villain stole her quirk and he turned to Naruto. Naruto, would you be kind enough to bring her to the empty vessel before I start? Grant her new quirks. The boy wordlessly obeys him and all for one chuckled cruelly, finding a twisted pleasure in the whole thing. Naruto carry the woman in his arms toward several empty crates and he stare at them before his eyes fixated onto the crate near the warehouse's door. He walk over to this crate, placing the woman inside and he stare at it for a while before he did something unexpected. He hide the crate by pushing it to the opposite side and place it in an opening place where anyone can find it if someone come by, all without his creator's knowledge. The boy walks away without looking back at the crate and he don't know why he did it, neither why this woman act out a few moments ago. 2 days later at night, Naruto remain at the warehouse as Salad Udon hide itself, due to its fear for their creator who was still in the building with them, and he can hear his creator speaking to Tamura through the monitor. Naruto quietly glance at a certain crate in the distance, his creator haven't noticed anything at all because he was too focused with something else and his eyes wander from one object to other object until he spots something outside the nearby window. There was a mop of green hair and red spike and the boy tilt his head before something happened in a blur. A giant hand smash into the building with the truck, following by a giant foot and 3 pro heroes enter the building as they quickly collect the unmoving Noumu. Ragdoll. Tiger discovered the unconscious woman in the nearby crate and he pulls her out into his arms. A Noumu storehouse, Best Jeanist spoke into his earpiece as the strings of his clothes stretch out to tie up the rest of Noumu, suppression complete. How did they found this place? Salad Udon peeked out of its hiding place and its eyes glance at Naruto as the boy stand in the back of the warehouse while their creator step out at his side before the creature duck back into avoid all for one's line of sight. Mission. Naruto looked up at his creator, who just raises his hand up with a small headshake. Not yet. All for one whispered softly. Oh woo. Mount Lady groaned in disgust as she held a handful of Noumu. These things are actually alive. Does having this easy of a job sit well with you, Jeanist? Shouldn't we have gone with All Might? Let's not conflate the degree of difficulty of what we're doing with its importance, rookie. Best Jeanist replied before he glanced at the cops. Riot squad, come and hold position. There might still be more of them around here. We're counting on you. Ragdoll. Tiger looked at the said woman worriedly. Say something. Is she your teammate? Gang Orca checked on them. She's breathing. Thank goodness. But, Tiger frowned worriedly. Something about her is off. What did they do to you, Ragdoll? I'm sorry, Tiger. All for one walked with Naruto as he chuckled darkly. I thought she had a useful quirk long ago. Since the opportunity fell into my lap, I decided to take it. Stop right there. Orca barked. Don't move. He brought his hand down with a snort. Another member of the league, huh? Someone, shine some light. Tiger shouted back to the police with a scowl. Ever since my body became like this, my stock has fallen quite a bit. The villain continued speaking as his shoe step out into the light before Jeanist used his quirk to confine the villain's suit. Mount Lady was about to warn Jeanist before Best Jeanist suddenly used his quirk to pull everyone out as soon as his gut scream out to him for some reason and he listened to it, just in time before everything explode. Just when Tamura was starting to think for himself, All for one floated in air with a clicking tongue, and beginning to lead others by himself. If possible, I'd like for you all to stop interfering. He floated back down with a sigh. Well then, let's get it over with. He walks over to a certain hero slowly with a slow clap, as expected of number 4, Best Jeanist. He glanced at Naruto before he turns back to the pro hero. I was trying to blast everybody away. But in an instant, you controlled everyone's clothes and pulled them out of the way. Your judgment, technique, you've got nerves of steel. TT this guy, Jeanist whispered shakily as his eye fixated onto the villain, noticing a boy behind him. He pushed himself up with his quirk as he think back to the meeting and the warning about a powerful ringleader. So what? Top heroes won't be defeated by the likes of Y. All of sudden, he feel an overwhelming pain in his stomach and he realized that he have been stabbed in gut by something. The strength that you possess is the result of considerable training and practical experience. All for one hummed, yours, I don't need yours. And I see no point of granting that to Naruto here. He gestured at the boy. Your quirk doesn't suit Tamura's personality. He used his other quirk, producing black liquids in air. Ugh, smell like shit. A voice coughed out as a black liquid spit something out, revealing to be Bakugo. The hell is this? I'm sorry, Bakugo. All for one replied as the members of Villain's Alliance popped out into the clearing before his head turned to Tamura. You failed again, huh, Tamura. But you absolutely cannot get discouraged. All you need to do is try again. I brought your comrades back for you. And this boy too. He gestured at Bakugo as the exploding boy scowled at them, because you deemed him to be an important piece. Try as many times as you'd like. That's why I'm here. He held his hand out to Tamura. Everything is for your sake. Ah, Naruto spot a small dot in the sky and his creator chuckled softly as his search quirk warned him. It looks like he's coming after all. All for one smirked behind his mask before he caught All Might's fists with his hands. I'm gonna make you give everything back, All for one. All Might declared. You're going to kill me again, All Might. The villain mocked as the shockwave knocked everything away from them. You sure took your time getting here, didn't you? His opponent jumped back. The bar isn't more than 5 kilometers away from here. It took well over 30 seconds after I sent the Noumus for you to arrive. You've gone soft, huh, All Might. You're one to talk. All Might shoot back. What's the deal with that industrial mask you've got on? Don't you think you're trying a little too hard? He brushed some dusts off his pant. I won't make the same mistake I made 5 years ago, all for one. He charged forward. I'm going to take back young Bakugo. And this time around, you're getting locked away for good. Your League of Villains puppets too. That won't do. All for one brought his right arm up. There's so much for us to do. How difficult, for both of us. His arm swollen up before the air burst out, blowing everything and everyone away. Atmospheric compression plus locomotive corkscrew, explosiveness time 4, muscular enhancement time 3. He flexed his hand with a chuckle. This combo is pretty fun. Maybe I'll collect some more augmentation class 1s. He glanced behind at Naruto. Don't you agreed with me? The boy merely nodded. All Might. Bakugo shouted out. No need to worry. The villain spoke. He won't die from something like that. In this case, he turned his head to his pupil. Get out of here, Tamura. And bring the kid with you. A black needle stretched out of his right hand as it jabbed into Kurogiri's body to force his rap quirk to active. Kurogiri, get everyone out of here. He glanced at the blonde boy. Naruto, you stay and be a good tool for me. He has to use this Noumu for the quirks and it will give him some upper hand for the battle. I understand. Naruto nodded again, ignoring Magna's question and his creator's explanation. Teacher, Tamura hissed with plead before something shot out of the ruins in the distance and All Might charged toward All for One with a battle cry. You're not getting away. All Might roared. Naruto, go. All for One snapped his fingers as the boy took off to hinder the pro-hero before he glanced back to Tamura. I want you to remember, Tamura. You can still grow so much more. Target sighted. Naruto charged toward the charging pro-hero before he throws a punch at All Might and their fists meet with an explosive clash. This boy. All Might gritted his teeth as he sent the boy flying away. He just held his power back slightly because he remembered the incident at USJ. His narrowed eyes turned sharply to All for One. Let this boy go. You are forcing him into this, aren't you? I won't call him a boy if I were you. All for One threw a punch at All Might as the pro-hero blocked it, because he's a Noumu, a very special one. And I'm gonna use this as my advantage because I know you have a soft spot for young kids. Noumu. All Might's eyes widened and he noticed several villains were chasing Bakugo down and he was about to rush over to them before the boy blindsided him with a tackle to his stomach by using a large thin pillar like a battering ram, sending him flying away into the rubbles. Thank you, Naruto. The villain smirked evilly before he sends the gust of wind at All Might. You're getting more useful as a living weapon, my creation. He jabbed his thumb at the damaged building behind him. Now take care of our little gawkers. Innocence. All Might's eyes widened behind his arms. No. That can't be good. I can't. No. Naruto said to his creator in All Might's surprise, I refuse. Oh. All for One frowned. Are you defying? All of a sudden, a ramp of ice appeared out of nowhere in the distance and 3 kids skied off it at high speed as All for One looked up, only to receive a backhand from All Might. The kids grab Bakugo during their soaring and they rush off in the distance. Naruto, stop them. Again, Naruto disobey him by attacking All Might with his claw and the pro-hero throw the Noumu away with his strength. Why did he do that? All Might thought with his eyes on them as the other pro-heroes did their best to protect the UA students in their conditions while they forced the villains to retreat against Tamura's protesting and they didn't even notice a hovering news helicopter above them in a safe distance. What does that? Something force into his mind with a headache. Because they are innocent and there is no point in going after them. That is what. Tell me. Where did you come up with that, Naruto? All for One shouted out furiously and All Might realized the message was from the blonde boy. Who the hell put this idea in you? I do not know. Naruto lied and his creator knows it. Ah, I see. All for One frowned angrily. Of course, I should have get rid of you since the first day because you're a defective, minus ultra. Naruto's face suddenly starts to peeling off at alarming speed. If you want to live, then kill All Might. You. All Might charged toward All for One with a right hook as Gran Torino backed him up, only to clash into each other after the villain used his rap quirk. Gran Torino attempt to give All Might support again, only to receive a kick to face from Naruto and the disintegrating Noumu turn his left eye to All Might as the hero clash with All for One again. After All for One blasted All Might away into Naruto as the boy ram his gray left fist into the hero's back while his right arm become a skeleton. I despise you. In the past, that fist of yours brought down my comrades, one by one, and yet you were celebrated as the symbol of peace. What is symbol of peace? Naruto projected his thought out but it went ignored by them as he placed his skeleton hand on All for One's body, healing him in process. Standing atop society, on the bodies of those sacrificed to get there, his creator mocked All Might as he tried to blast him away again. The view must be nice from up there, huh? Detroit smash. All Might canceled the blast out with his move. Sorry, but I'm not going to let you fight without holding back. The villain shouted out as Naruto fired his Gatling gun at All Might, which the hero just dodged by jump back. Heroes, there gathered a lot of them, He referenced to the ruins around them, a lot of things to protect. Shut up. All Might grabbed the villain's arms in a deep grip. That's exactly how you play with people like their toys, you scum. Destruction. Theft. Exploitation. Manipulation. The people of the world just trying to live day to day. Naruto tilted his head at the hero as his upper body lost most of his skin and muscles. You laugh at them, scorn their hardship. Those are things that I cannot. He buried his fist into All for One's chest down against the ground. Forgive. Trying to live day to day. Naruto's left eye blink as the right eye disappear within the empty socket. Same like this pro-hero. He barely pay attention to their conversation as several memories went through his head while he tried to understand everything. There are things that we don't understand but that are just how it is. Jiro snarled. After all, you and I are human. We're all humans, you psycho. But I am a Noumu, not a human. He looks at his peeling left hand. I am the living weapon, but is that what I want? You need a creed. Stain hissed with his blades at Tamura's neck. My creed, my purpose, his right leg break down into a skeleton leg, to obey my creator, but I do not wish to obey him anymore. Why? Something is in us. Salad smiled. We're different from the other Numas. How should I say it? They're like empty shells. But you and I have a thing in us. You and I have something inside us. The creature repeated, something that make us alive. Like the living beings, humans. Alive, Naruto said flatly, but we are living weapons, a tool for the creator and his allies. No, we are not weapons or tools. The creature waved its arms wildly. You and I are different from them. Its point at the crate again. We can think, we can speak, we have it in us, we can feel it. Is that why? Naruto placed his good hand on his ribcage. That something inside me, was it the reason why I act different? Naruto's eyes flicked red as he stared at Mustard with a snarl. The memory of Jiro's paled face appeared in his head. What is it? He wonders before his eye widened at the memory. You, Tomoko's eyes widened as she realized something. Naruto, that something inside you. I think I know why you can't do what other Numas do is because you're you. You are your own person and you can do whatever you want to do or to be. I do not understand. Naruto clutched his head. I do not understand. Of course, you don't because you're young. She suddenly hugged his head to her chest as he frozen up at the contact. It's okay to not able to understand anything because it's the adult's job to guide you along. Someday you will find your own answer and it will take a while. You don't have to rush it. She break them apart as she give him a beaming grin, so don't worry your head off and just smile. Naruto stare at her with widened eyes. Ah, I understand it now. Naruto slowly bring his left hand down as the battle raging on without his knowledge. What I have is. Should you be dodging? I wonder. All for One smirked cruelly as he aimed his swollen arm at All Might and the hero realized there was an innocent behind him, trapping under the rubble. I will take away that which you have worked to protect. What I have is, the villain feels a hand on his back and he feels a certain quirk vanish, to his shock, as soon as he blast out. Wah, All for One uttered as the smoke cleared in front of him to reveal a giant shield in front of him. What I have is the heart. Naruto stood in front of All Might and a woman with his weapon arm, shield out as his body suddenly stopped breaking down. Something inside me is soul. You, All Might uttered, his true form has been revealed to the world but all he can think is this Numu's action. Why? Because that is the right thing to do and that is what I want. Naruto replied and he cancels his weapon arm quirk as his body suddenly repaired itself. How can that be? The command quirk don't work. All for One's teeth gritted but the most important thing is, this boy somehow stole the search quirk from him. He'll deal with him later as soon as he notice All Might's true form have been exposed to the world, thanks to the news helicopter. Well, take a good look at your symbol of peace. Those hollow cheeks. Those sunken eyes. A pitiful excuse for a top her if I've ever seen one. But don't be ashamed. That is your true form after all, isn't it? Though my body may rot away and decline, and the world sees me in this condition, All Might stepped in front of Naruto with clenched fist, my spirit remains, I am still the symbol of peace. And there is nothing you can do to take away even a fragment of that from me. Magnificent. The villain chortled, you got me. I had forgotten how much of a stubborn little child you were. He lifted his index finger up. In that case, I hope that this does not hinder that spirit of yours. I've got something to tell you. Shigaraki Tamura is Shimura Nana's grandchild. His revelation draw out a shocked react out of All Might. All this time, I've been thinking about how much that fact would disturb you. I created the opportunity for you and Tamura to meet, and you beat him into submission, didn't you? Without knowing a thing, all the while shining that triumphant smile of yours. You're lying, All Might said shakily. It's the true. All for One replied, this is the kind of thing I would do. He corked his head. Huh, that's weird, All Might. What happened to that smile of yours? Why you? All Might's body shaken, you scum. Just as, the villain chuckled evilly before a snake arm hit the side of his face. Don't listen to this villain. Salad Udon shouted at the sideline as the creature stretched its arm back from the villain. Bad guy always lie to you all the time, don't believe in him. This creature, All for One scowled, I thought I got rid of this thing long time ago. Don't lose, a voice whined behind All Might and the pro-hero glanced over his shoulder to see the crying woman under the rubble. All Might, please, help. It seems to give him something as his right arm swollen up. Of course, young lady. All Might smiled bloodily. You're right, all for one. There's so much we heroes have to protect. And that's why we don't lose. And Naruto touched All Might's back with his right hand before he absorbs the hero's recent wounds into his body, will support you with everything I get. Thank. All Might glanced at him before his eyes shifted back to floating all for one as he ramble on, but I have to ask you to stay out of this one. Naruto was about to say something but the fire shoot out at the villain before it was swat away. What the hell is with that appearance, All Might? Endeavor roared. Naruto spot Tiger with Ragdoll in his arms as the pro-hero helped the trapped woman out while the other heroes appeared to help All Might out and he was at their side with his hand on Tomoko's chest before they know it. Transfer complete. A light shined under his hand. Wah! Tiger's head jerked to him. What are you do? Tomoko's eyes fluttered open and she looked up at them exhaustedly. She barely realized that her quirk was back at full force. Ragdoll. Tiger gasped. Are you okay? Tiger. Tomoko's eyes flicked to Naruto and she reached out to him shakily but Naruto vanished to All Might's side. Wait. Naruto. Her cry went unheard by the boy. How troublesome. All for one unleashed a powerful shockwave as soon as Gran Torino finished giving All Might a pep talk. Enough with the sentimental talk. Let's talk reality. He multiplied many quirks into his right arm, transforming into a giant mutated arm and he summoned a tail from his back, transforming it into a mutated scorpion-like tail that moved like a snake and the stinger appeared to be a blade. I will strike you down. His tail snake out to pierce All Might in order to give himself an advantage while he flew toward him with his giant arm up in air. I gotta put everything into my right arm but my left side will be open. All Might channel his strength into his right arm. Not anymore. Naruto's voice spoke and before anyone know it, Naruto took the blow from the tail as it pierced through his chest before he held it down with his arms. No. Tomoko screamed out in horror with the others. Damn you. All for one roared out angrily at the loss of his advantage. That boy, why? Gran widened his eyes. I can hear them. Naruto dragged All for one back to buy All Might some time, the humans that wish for his victory. I told All Might that I will support him to the end, because I want to. He jammed his feet into the ground as soon as All for one attempted to pull him in, to protect humans like a hero. Not as a living weapon. Not as a Noumu. But as myself. He suddenly swung the villain around before he swings him toward, because I am me. That's right, Salad whispered in the distance, that, something, inside us is, free will. That is why we both are different from the other. And no one can take that away from me, not even All for one who tried to snuff it out from the first day you were born. Naruto, because you were meant to be something greater enough to lead us to our place in this world. No one should have done what you just done. All Might corked his fist back as All for one fling toward him. I won't let your sacrifice end in vain. Thank you, my boy. This is farewell, All for one. No, it would be me who should thank you. Humans, forgive me the answer. The corners of his mouth slowly lift up into a soft smile. It was the first time Naruto have smiled since he was born. Thank you. United States of Smash. All Might crushed All for one into the ground with a very powerful shockwave that went on for miles and he sluggishly raised his right fist up in victory, signaling the end of battle to the world. Naruto. Tomoko ran across the battlefield to the lying boy on her wobbly legs, ignoring her teammates' holler before she kneel at his side as she cradles his head onto her laps. And Naruto. The boy's eyes were closed and there was so much blood everywhere, courtesy of the gaping hole in his chest, where his heart should be in. No, she whispered with tears in her eyes, not again, no, not again. She wailed out, I just got you back, why do I have to lose you again? It's not fair, Naruto. Ragdoll, Tiger whispered softly, he don't know what was going on but he hate to see his good friend like that. All Might walk up to them sadly after he called out to someone on the camera as he looks at Naruto's face and he was about to say something to Ragdoll but. Have you defeated him? The three heroes jolted as Naruto stare at them from Tomoko's laps as if he didn't have a life-threatening wound in his chest and they stare at him with widened eyes. Did you get your victory for the humans? Why yes, All Might can't help but to answer, but I thought you died. I have regeneration quirk. Naruto sat up as the hole in his chest slowly close up, thanks to my true quirk. True quirk. All Might muttered and Naruto was about to say something but Tomoko suddenly pulled him in a tight hug. Naruto. Don't you do that again. Tomoko buried her face on top of Naruto's head with a sob, much to his confusion. I thought I lose you again. I'm so sorry, my baby, I'm so sorry. You must have a lot of hard time. All Might rubbed the back of his neck before he glanced at the police as they walked toward them, most likely to arrest Naruto for his involvement with the villain's alliance, and his eyes flicked back to Naruto. I feel sorry for him. He has to go to juvenile detention center, until he get an idea and he hope this one won't bite his ass in a long run. For the next several days, the society were in chaos for many reasons. First was the revelation of All Might's true form and his retirement from the heroic career, due to his old injury and loss of his quirk. Second was the reformation of police system after they realize how much they have been slacking off lately. And the third and final was Naruto, Everything was not made public because of his status, and the government was not sure what to do with him until they made a decision in secret after they spoke to several certain figures. First of all, Class 1A, Aizawa stood in front of the new dorm building within UA Academy as his students take in the sight of the new building. It had been about a couple weeks or so after the great battle. What's more important than anything is that you all have gathered together again safely. Same goes for you, Sensei. Suyu said as several classmates of her talked to each other. I'm just relieved that you made it back here with us too. After watching that interview, I thought you might not be able to come back. I was really sad, some agreed with her. It's surprising to me as well. Aizawa admitted, well, a hell of a lot happened. That's for sure. He clapped his hands together. Now then, I'm going to give you all a quick briefing in regards to the dorms. But before that, just one thing. He started to explain things about hero licenses, and he started to call out 5 certain students about their decision at the battle between All Might and All for One. Nedzu stare at the new dorm from his office as he think about the spy, and it make him think back to this event. Nedzu stand in front of Naruto as he quietly sits in the cell. It has been a couple days after his arrest at the great battle, and the creature clears his throat. Naruto, can I ask you something? Will you answer me honestly? Yes, I will answer to your question as best as I can. Naruto nodded blankly. Who is the traitor among our rank? Nedzu asked. Who is the one that leak everything about the locations of our students to the Villains Alliance? I do not know. The blonde boy answered. Only Tamura, Kurogiri and my creator know. They receive their information in secret. Is that so? Nedzu frowned. Yes, I do not know. Naruto nodded. Thank you for your time. Nedzu walked away with a sigh. He was hoping to find the traitor right away. Whoever the spy is, we have to find this person right away for our students' safety. Nedzu stared at the sky. We must direct our students to a bright, hopeful future, even him. It's one class per building. Aizawa led his students into the dorm's common space as he explained. Boys and girls are separated by wing. The right wing is for the girls, and the boys' wing is on the left. However, the first floor is common space. The dining area, baths, and laundry facilities can be found here. It's spacious. Ashido pumped her hands. It's pretty. It's spaciously pretty. And there's sofa. There's even a courtyard. Shiro looked outside while his classmates looked around. It's a freakin' mansion. Uraraka nearly fainted. And next is, Aizawa was about to walk away, but they hear a voice and they turn around to see a familiar face peeking out of the dining room. Oh, Aizawa, when did you get here? Tomoko grinned before her eyes flicked to the students. Oh, and you're all here so early. Hello, Ragdoll. Aizawa muttered dully. Ah, Ragdoll. Izuku gasped out. Are you okay? I mean, you were caught by. I'm 100% fine since I got my quirk back. Tomoko giggled hyperactively. And call me Shiratoko, I'm off duty. That's good to hear, but I have to ask. Suyu blinked with finger on her chin. Why are you here? Oh, I'm just helping my son settle in and we're having lunch. Tomoko smiled giddily before she pouted childishly, but he still don't call me mommy. Wait, son. No one knows who said it, but they all were surprised with the new info. Masuko, come here and introduce yourself to them. Tomoko beckoning in the kitchen with her hand, and the students watch on as a familiar person walk out to their shock and horror. Hello, it is nice to meet you. Naruto stared at the shocked students. My name is Shiratoko Naruto. Aizawa sensei. TTT this guy. Momo pointed at Naruto with shakily finger. Due to some circumstances, Naruto will be placed in UA Academy where the pro heroes can keep their eyes on him while he learned to reform himself, and they agreed that he should be placed under my watch, due to my quirk. Aizawa said lazily. Class, meet your new classmate and he will start tomorrow. Yes, I will start tomorrow morning and I look forward to it. Naruto nodded, and some students feel a little creeped out by his lack of expression. I know you guys have run into each other more than once when he was, Tomoko scratched her cheek before she bowed down as she forced her puzzled son down. We are sorry. Please do not blame Naruto for everything. I know you guys won't have easy time with it, but I hope that you all will forgive my son, if it will take years. The students become uncomfortable with it because they don't know what to say or do now until. Oh, are they the students that will live here from now on? Several students jumped in air with a scream as Salad Udon suddenly appeared behind them with a wide smile. Hello, my name is Salad Udon. The creature shakes everyone's hands with its snake arms. Nice to meet you, humans. I hope we will get along with each other. What the fuck are you? Mineta screamed out and the creature stares at him blankly. I'm Salad Udon. The creature shouted back. And that is our new janitor. Aizawa jabbed his thumb at the creature as he ignored the commotion. He, she, hey. He shouted out to stop them, male or female. Quote. I'm a male. Salad Udon answered. It's really oblivious if you look at my body. Everybody looked him up and down and they can't even see anything that point to his gender. Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna wash my socks. Salad waved at them cheerfully as he walks toward the laundry room. Who the fuck named their kid Salad Udon? Bakugo finally shouted out. Ah, I did. Naruto raised his hand up as they looked at him. He have no name because he is a Noumu and he want one, so I give him one. Moving on. Aizawa called out to his students in attempt to stop the madness, let me show you other floors. Okay. I think that went well for now. Tomoko looked at her son as the students followed their teacher after they glanced at the boy with different looks, mostly nervous. Come here. She moved to the sofa and she pat the seat next to her as the boy took his seat. You know why you are here, right? Naruto nodded. Good, oh, I really don't know what to say. She looked into his eyes. I want you to do your best in school, be a good student, I want you to promise to call me every day and I will pick you up every free day. She hugged him as she pecked his forehead. I love you, my Masuko. I promise. Naruto hugged back with confusion before he listened to her again as she tried her best to talk to him, but it was hard for her. Bye, I'll see you on Sunday, Naruto. Tomoko waved her hand at her son wildly out of the taxi as the car drive away from the school's gate and Naruto just raised his hand at her blankly. He walks back to the gate until something in an alleyway catches his attention and he walk over to see two boxes and inside them was. It was nighttime and the students suddenly decide to have a room showcasing completion. Some noticed that the blonde Noumu was not present but they were fine with it since they don't know how to act around him, due to their past. Yum, that was so sweet. Toru skipped out of Sato's room with her classmates after they ate his cake before she noticed an ajar door at the end of the hallway. Ah, there's one more room to look in. Whose room is it? Ojiro asked curiously as the invisible girl run into the room excitingly. We just saw every boy's room except for Bakugo and, Jiro muttered before her eyes widened. Hey, wait. Naruto. Toru's voice shouted out. Kya. Toru. The musician ran to the room with her classmates to protect their classmate from the villain. I know he was up to something. She slammed the door open wide before they look at a sight. So cute. Toru held a white kitten up in air and Naruto was sitting on the floor with his legs sprawling out as the kittens and puppies gather around him. The confusing Noumu just stare at the invisible girl as he turned his eyes to the UA students and he stare at Jiro a bit longer before he looked down at the animals. There were 7 kittens and 5 puppies, all different breeds. I don't know you have pets. The invisible girl cuddled with the kitten. Pet. Naruto looked up to her. Did you get them from your mother? Aoyama looked over them as he entered the room daringly. I never peg you or your mother to be a dog person. Ah. No. The Noumu pet the husky puppy's head as the other puppies lick his hands while several kittens curled up to his side. I found them outside in boxes. He glanced at the old cardboard boxes, so I bring them in. A villain taking in sprays. Iida adjusted his glasses in disbelief. Former. Aoyama corrected his class president. Naruto is reforming himself, remember. His heart is dazzling so much that he is no longer a villain since day one. That's why he never go all out to kill anyone and always help us out. Oh, right. Toru gasped out before she looks down at Naruto. I never get a chance to thank you for help me out during the attack at resort. You were the one who healed me and Jiro from the poison, right? Yes, that is correct. Naruto merely nodded. Thank. Toru grinned. I owe you one. Wait, he helped you two out. Kirishima glanced at Jiro with a blink. He didn't hear about that. Yeah, we were poisoned by gas and Aoyama said he healed us for no reason. Jiro said bitterly. She still doesn't trust this guy at all and it piss her off that she has to live in the same building with this psycho. Your room is very Spartan. Toyoyami can't help but look around his room out of curiously. There was not a lot of things in Naruto's room but bed and desk with chair. They can see some books lying haphazardly on the desk but there was one thing that stand out the most. It was a large poster of Ragdoll on the wall with words that read, I'm your mommy. I guess she was the one who give you that, right? Naruto nodded at him. I wonder why she adopted you. She does not adopt me. Naruto answered, she was pregnant with me. Wait, Ragdoll lost a child. Izuku blinked confusingly as he remembered the articles from past. There was an accident that caused her to miscarried. Yes, I died a stillborn. The Noumu replied, not caring if it was too heavy info for them to learn. That was until my creator makes me alive as a Noumu. He looked up at them. I am her real son but, I do not know what her mother and son. No one knows what to say as the boys stare at them while the little animals keep moving around. The next morning, Naruto stand in front of the class with Aizawa at his side and he wear the school's uniform. As I mentioned yesterday, you have a new classmate and he will start today. Please get along with him and try your best not to freak out all over his past. Aizawa gestured at the said boy before he looked at him as he pointed at the empty desk in the back corner of the classroom. Naruto, your desk is over there. The boy walks over to the desk. We will start working on your uniform after I give the class their lesson and you have to come up with a codename as a hero. Well then, our first objective will be earning provisional hero licenses for you all. A hero license, in essence, grants you permission to directly intervene when people's lives are at stake. This qualification carries an immense weight. And this goes without saying, but the examination required to earn license is extremely strict. It is a provisional license, but even having said that the pass rate of this exam, year to year, is less than 5%. Just for a provisional license, it's that tough. Mineta stammered. And that is why, from today onwards, we'll be having each of you come up with at least 2 of, Aizawa snapped his fingers as the teachers entered the classroom, your very own special moves. Finally, we're leaving the normal school-like stuff behind and moving on to the hero-like stuff. The class cheered. Alright. Naruto glanced at them with tilted head and he barely heard the teacher's explanation about the special move. We'll go into the specifics with you all shortly with live exercises. Aizawa called out, go change into your costumes. We'll meet at Gamma Gym. Where? Naruto raised his hand with a blank expression. Someone have to take him there. The teacher said after he realized that the boy didn't get the tour of Academy yet, then after that, someone has to give him a tour. The training dreamland. Smintos gestured at the giant gym as the students entered, put short, TDL. This facility of my own devising. He placed his hands on the ground before he created giant mound-like pillars. Here I am able to prepare terrains and training objects personalized for each and every one of you students. Hence, Dreamland. If I could ask a question. Iida raised his hand up. Why are special moves necessary to obtain a provisional license? Please illuminate us with that context. I'll explain it to you step by step. Aizawa sighed with a mumble, chill out. Naruto stand behind of the class with a good size of distance as his eyes scan the building out of curiously and he just ignore the whole explanation of special moves and why it is important to have one. I'm pumped up. An exciting shout catch his attention as the students stretched their limbs out and they walked toward the man-made terrain to start their training, leaving Naruto behind. Hey, you should get in there and start come up with a special move. Ectoplasm appeared at his side, jabbing his thumb at the terrain. I do not know if my quirks are suitable for special move, neither if I need one. Naruto replied. They told me that you have multiple quirks. The phantom-like teacher hummed, can you list them out for me, just names? I'll stop you if I want to know more about this quirk. My current quirks are telepathy, zoom, enhanced body, heal, berserker, cat's claw. The blonde boy started to list off his quirks until the teacher stopped him. What are these last three? Ectoplasm asked curiously. Heal allow me to absorb any injuries from the host and my body will regenerate from the injuries. Naruto explained, but I only can take the wounds within 5 days and I can't take age-old injury. Do you feel the pain of the injuries once it absorb into your body? The phantom-like teacher frowned. Pain. The boy tilted his head, what is pain? And berserker. Ectoplasm decided to change the topic, it sound like it amp up your powers, right? That is correct. Naruto nodded, but for some reason, I want to attack everyone in sight. Hence the name. The phantom-like teacher muttered, that is a double-edged blade and it can't be used in public for many reasons. And cat's claw. I never heard of that before. Shiratoko Tomoko named it because she said it looked like a cat's claw. Naruto activated his claw quirk to show him. Figured. Ectoplasm deadpanned with a whisper before he clear his throat, continue. Weapon arm, lock, thief's arm and zero. Naruto finished. I am quite familiar with weapon arm. The phantom-like teacher rubbed his chin. There was a villain who had this a long time ago. It allow you to use any existing weapon but you can only use one at a time, right? Naruto nodded again, but I don't know about the last three again. Lock quirk is what it is. Naruto explained again. Lock. All quirks I have to prevent anyone from steal it. Ectoplasm raised his eyebrow behind the mask, that seems to be useless and useful at same time. Thief's arm allows me to steal anything and storage it. Naruto's right arm blackens up as a large rope come out of his shoulders, curling around his upper arm slightly. Even a quirk. Wah! Ectoplasm's eyes widened. But I cannot use the stolen quirk. The boy continued as the phantom release his breath unnoticeable. I only can transfer the quirk to quirkless one or it will return to the original owner within 24 hours if there is no transfer. Kinda like Aizawa's eraser quirk. Ectoplasm said thoughtfully, is that what you did with the search quirk? Yes. Naruto answered, I took it from the creator and give it back to Ragdoll. And zero? Ectoplasm asked. He noticed that Aizawa have been listening in the whole time. Zero is my true quirk. The boy held his hands out as if he was holding something, the quirk that grants me all quirks that have existed or yet to be existed. The teacher's eyes widened at that. Are you serious? Ectoplasm whispered, that mean you can have any quirks you want by bring it out. No. Naruto replied blankly, zero is the one that make the decision and they always come at random time, some can take months or years. It is what give me lock at first day I was created, the heal comes 6 months later. I gained cat's claw about 7 months ago and thief's arm formed right before the battle between All Might and the creator. I see, the phantom-like teacher muttered, seems to be shaken by everything. It's good thing you decide to change your side on your own free will. Yes, I wish to protect humans and to find my own purpose. Naruto answered. If he was still on their side, Aizawa have a chilling realization, the heroes wouldn't have a chance to stop this Noumu because one day he will become an omnipotent being and the casualties will be greater. He will have a power to destroy or save the world one day. The teacher glanced at the boy before he sighs to himself, why can't he have an easy life? Now he has to make sure that the boy will go down the right path. You guys are all really into it, huh? All Might's voice spoke from the doorway and the gloomy teacher now knows who to blame for his upcoming hardships, only if he don't pull a lot of damn strings. It was lunchtime and Naruto sit on a bench under the tree in a secluded place as he stare at the clouds. He can feel some stares from behind and he glances over his shoulders to see several students as they peek at him from the window, some out of curiosity or suspicion, mostly suspicion, but he pay his attention to the nature once again. After a while, he suddenly hears a startled chirp and he look up to see something fall out before he catches it with his hands without getting out of his seat. It was a fledgling bird and Naruto look up at the tree, spotting the nest with crow and a bunch of fledglings on low branch, before he climb up the tree to put the fledgling back in. The adult bird suddenly push the same fledgling out and the boy catch the baby in midair before he put it back in, only to have the same result. Is it because this one have defect? Naruto look at the fledgling's right wing, it was very smaller than other wing. The boy carefully climb back down and he look between the nest and the Kong fledgling in his hands. It is okay. Naruto rubbed the head of the crow lightly with his index finger, I will take you in like the others. He walks away from the tree. Jiro spot Naruto outside of the window from the hallway and she frowned to herself, she believed that he is up to something no good and she will keep her eyes on him. He'll slip up and she will get him for good, just wait and see. Gotta hurry. Yanagi Reiko ran outside, she can't believe that she just forget her bento in her classroom and she turned around the corner, only to clash into something hard and she flopped down on her rear with a quiet grunt. She rubbed her sore nose with a mumble as she tried to get up but a hand hold out in front of her face and she look up to see a blonde boy before she realized this person is Naruto from some of her friends and news. Thank, Reiko said quietly as she took his hand and the boy helped her up before she notices a baby crow in his other hand. Why do you have a baby bird? I am taking her in because the mother abandoned her. Naruto replied with blank expression, it is right thing to do, correct? Reiko looks up into his unique eyes with a slow blink, yeah, it is, she barely realizes that she was still holding onto his hand. Little did Naruto know is that she just falls for him at first sight and it will be the first link of the chain of the reaction that will lead him to something. And that end the second chapter of N. Like it, hate it. Phew, I really crammed whole current manga in 2 chapters. It's because the whole thing is a prologue. That's right, it is all about Naruto learning what it is to have free will like a human, despite the fact that he is a Noumu, and to be a hero that he truly want. Now we will go into original arcs, don't worry there will be some canon when the manga add more. Now we just found out the origin behind Naruto and he's the stillborn son of Ragdoll, who turn out to be alive as a Noumu because of All for One. Yes, I'm confusing too. Plus, he plays a small role in the battle between All for One and All Might. Because of that, All Might decide to pull some strings to bring him into the UA Academy so he can have a real future instead of rotting away in prison for a long time. But he will have some hard time with the students because of his past, expect for few. We also know why he is different from other Numas. He have a soul, heart, free will. Plus we finally found out about his true quirk and it kinda sound very op, but it's kinda random at same time. It looks like Naruto just pick up a new habit. I hope it don't end up in some crazy situation.